Good evening from downtown Detroit, 60 miles from Toledo. The Rockets have come up I-75, looking to take a title back home. Meantime, Miami of Ohio has been here with a guy named Ben throwing the ball. Roethlisberger's off to the NFL. Now Josh Betts will try to get a back-to-back title for Miami. A short history, but some of football's biggest current names have starred in the MAC season's final game. The last was Big Ben's big national stage. But now Pittsburgh is Roethlisberger's home. But his Redhawks have not gone away. The new name under center is Betts. The payoff, another division title. Toledo's quarterback is from Pittsburgh, piloting a rocket ship in the nation's top 10 gaining yards. Miami's stingy defense won their regular season meeting at home, but now the stakes are higher. The conference championship is on the line tonight. The home of the Detroit Lions, and in a year and a month or so, the home of Super Bowl 40. Ford Field, downtown Detroit. The site of the MAC title game for the next 3 years, part of college football primetime, presented by Cooper Tires. Toledo and Miami, winners of their divisions, meet in the Marathon MAC championship game. And we welcome you to the start of championship weekend in college football. Great to have you with us here from downtown Detroit. Last year was a great year for the Mid-American Conference. Remember that one Saturday where they knocked off 3 teams from the power BCS leagues, and Miami of Ohio making its run to finish in the top 10 in the country. Well, this year hasn't gained as many headlines, but maybe it's a deeper Mid-American Conference. 5, maybe 6 teams will represent this league in bowl games. We're going to see 2 of them tonight playing for the conference title. Joined by Lee Corso and Kirk Herbstreit. And guys, the team that did win the title last year, a chance to repeat. Hasn't happened since the mid-70s. How's Miami done it, Kirk?
Well, it's been an incredible story this year for Terry Hepner as a head coach. Not only losing Ben Roethlisberger this year, 3 of his top assistants, including his defensive coordinator. 5 games into this season, they found themselves at 2-3, coming off a devastating loss to Marshall. It didn't look very good at that point of getting back and having a chance to win the MAC championship. All of a sudden, they made some changes. They've won 6 in a row, and they come into this game very confident and very aware of what is at stake because of their experience last year in this MAC championship game. This is going to be exciting to watch this Miami of Ohio team, even without Ben Roethlisberger.
Well, you know, Toledo got in this title game with the MAC by winning 8 of the last 9 football games, and they've done it with an explosive offense. They're 7th in the nation in total offense, but they've also done it by having 2 great rallies in their last 2 ball games against Northern Illinois and Bowling Green. I might add 2 top 25 teams. They beat both of those teams with second-half rallies. This is a confident football team right tonight, Mike.
And they've been to this title game a lot. Their 5th appearance. They're coached by a Toledo native, Tom Amstutz. He's standing by with Jill Arrington. Jill?
Thanks, Mike. Coach, you faced Miami exactly 1 month ago. What did you learn in that game that'll make a difference in the outcome tonight?
Well, I learned they're a very good football team. We're going to have to really play our best game here in the championship. And we can't have turnovers. We had 4 turnovers in the first game. We have to be a lot better all around as a football team this game.
And, Coach, after a slow start to your season, your team continually fought together, fought hard to earn a chance to come to this championship game. How would you describe the personality of this Toledo team?
Well, our team, their players are really hungry and tough. They refuse to quit, and I'm really proud just to be their coach. They're great young men, and they give everything they have on the football field.
Well, Coach, we look forward to seeing you play. Thanks a lot. Mike, back to you.
Jill, thank you. First time this has been played in neutral field. Toledo, Miami of Ohio. Kickoff shortly. First back to the studio, and here's Chris Fowler. The Rockets from Toledo take the field here at Ford Field. 8th play of the Marathon MAC Championship presented by Cooper Tires, and tonight's game, as every Thursday night, available on ESPN HD. Thanks to our friends at Best Buy and Phillips. Mike Tirico, Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, Jill Arrington set for kickoff. You know, the quarterbacks in this league have been terrific. Obviously, Ben Roethlisberger has been and will be talked about a lot. Chad Pennington, Byron Leftwich got 2 pretty good ones here tonight. Let's start with the Toledo guy.
Yeah, Toledo's junior quarterback, Brad Gradkowski, is #2 in the nation in pass completion percentage. He's hit over 70% of his passes. He's thrown 23 touchdown passes. And the most important thing, in his last game against Bowling Green, he led Toledo to 5 straight touchdowns in the second half to win that football game. And I'll tell you what, Kirk, he's a tremendous competitor.
How would you like to be Josh Betts and asked to fill the shoes of one of the best quarterbacks that we've seen in college football in recent years, and now he's tearing it up, Ben Roethlisberger in the NFL. But Josh Betts came into this year incredibly confident in his abilities. 4th year in the system, understands the system very well. Now, he struggled early this year, maybe forcing some things, but in the last 5 games, he's been on fire. Very few turnovers. And tonight, for this offense to continue to hit on all cylinders, number 8 in red is going to have a big night.
Well, let's talk to his head coach, standing by with Jill Arrington.
Coach Hepner, you beat Toledo a month ago. You've called this a 4-week halftime. How difficult is it to beat a team twice in a season?
Well, you know, it is. There's a familiarity about it. But we also have the confidence, Jill. We beat them before. We know we can do it again.
And, Coach, your quarterback, he's got big shoes to fill with Big Ben leaving. How has Josh handled the position and identifying this team as his?
Well, you know, Ben was like an Indy race car, and Josh is more like a pickup truck. But they're both effective. I'm really proud of him because he has had a lot of pressure on him. He's done a great job. He's leading our team right now and doing a pretty good job.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thanks, Jill.
Mike, back to you.
Okay, Jill, thank you. Terry Hepner, a good man. He's done a terrific job at Miami of Ohio, spent nearly 2 decades there and loves the place. And same true on the other side with Tom Amstutz. The Toledo coach has been a lifer at Toledo, except for 3 years at the Naval Academy and 10 days at Missouri. He was an assistant on Gary Pinkel's team. Pinkel did a great job at Toledo, got the Missouri job. Amstutz, the defensive coordinator, was going to go there, and then offered the job back at his school, his alma mater in his hometown. Came back, took it, and Toledo Tom is back in the title game. 12 teams in the Mid-American Conference. When we get to 2005, 14, 7 per side this year in the East and the West. Miami finished 7-1 to win the East, a game ahead of Marshall and Akron, while Toledo finished 7-1 but won the tiebreaker, a head-to-head with Northern Illinois to outpoint Northern Illinois in Bowling Green to get to the title game. Miami looking for back-to-back titles. Did that 73 through 75. They won 3 in a row. Todd Soderquist to kick off. Lance Moore, Terrence Hudson back, and off we go with the MAC championship game from downtown Detroit. It will be Lance Moore on the return, and the all-time leading receiver in Toledo history out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Well, the guys told you about the junior from Pittsburgh, Bruce Gradkowski. Actually, his best recruiting moment was while playing basketball. The Toledo coaches fell in love with this young man who set passing records in Western Pennsylvania at Seton LaSalle High School. You might remember one of the landmark games for Toledo was when Gradkowski and company beat Pittsburgh last year. This is a spread offense and a very good one. Second to Bowling Green in points and yards this year. First down run, quick hit by Scooter McDougal, who took it for about 8 yards out to the 34-yard line. Derek Rehage in on the tackle. Let's check the Bud Light starting lineups around Gradkowski. McDougal, a back who has 453 yards on the season. Moore, the all-time receiver, 80 catches this year. Steve Odom, Kenny Higgins, they're both good receivers. Chris Holmes, the tight end, first team all-conference. Up front, Nick Kaiser on the left side going to the Hula Bowl, the East-West Shrine Game. 4-year all-MAC performer. That's never happened in Toledo history. On second and a couple, McDougal is stopped by Will Roof in the middle of that Miami defensive line. Roof and Larry Bird are senior tackles up there, plugging up the middle with Jared Rich and Marcus Johnson on the ends. Linebackers are terrific. I talked about Rehage, and you have John Beesing on one side. Turner Nande, 12 and 32, are athletic, exciting, and great linebackers to watch. And the strength of this defense could be the corners. Darrell Hunter and Alfonso Hodge might be back in this building playing in the NFL in some days. Wewo is a safety who was a former walk-on. That would be the spot they'd have to be most concerned with. Matt Pusateri starting his 50th game here tonight. 3rd and 1, third run. It's McDougal bouncing for the first down out to the 39-yard line. I mentioned Toledo puts up a lot of points. moves the ball very well. One more time, guys, we see another spread offense on a Thursday night.
Spread offense, and an offense that, even though if you look at their stats offensively, they love to put it up in the air. They're 6th in the country this year, over 300 yards a game. But they like to establish the run early just to give the defense enough to think about and then come back to play action with Gronkowski.
They throw a ton of screens. Gronkowski's a decent runner, and he gets tagged hard at the 43 by Jared Rich, the defensive end. Playing on the field turf here, as you see at so many indoor stadiums. Some impressive national ranks for this Toledo offense.
I like their strategy coming out by Rob Spence, the offensive coordinator. I always like to open up the football game, if I could, hitting somebody, getting that offensive line to come off, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're coming off the ball, and they're knocking at Miami defense and teaching them, hey, we're tough enough to play against you guys anytime.
Well, Gronkowski took the worst of that hit, maybe a little shaken up. Timeout. Well, there is Bruce Gronkowski. He's looking for his helmet. They took it from him as he was injured and came out there. Let's take a look at it, the hit here on this first down run.
Well, he has a reputation for being a tough guy and willing to try to fight for the extra yard. And you can see sometimes as a quarterback, you have to be aware of your surroundings, and you got to get down, especially in a championship game. Guys are flying around, and they know that Gronkowski wants to stay up. They're going to take some shots at him.
He is out. Marcus Council has come in. A redshirt freshman, the backup quarterback, hands to Scooter McDougal, who takes it a couple of yards shy of the first down, and Gronkowski comes back in. That's the best news for Toledo fans.
Gronkowski got hurt because he got hit on his shoulder against this hard turf. Boom, right on it. And that's what really bothers me sometimes about this turf. It doesn't give like the soft ground. Right there, watch his left shoulder. He gets jammed into the turf. But he's back. He's a Western Pennsylvania quarterback. Need to say anything more?
No.
That's it.
That's it.
Take a play off. Come on back.
3rd and 2, and they'll run it again. This time, McDougal has a nice lane to pick up the first down. Thrown out of bounds at the 43-yard line. John Greco and Chris Holmes, the tackle and tight end. Nice blocks on that game.
Well, right now, as Lee touched on, they're able to control the line of scrimmage a little bit. And what's impressive is these linemen are getting out in front of the play when they run wide, and they're leading the way. And this is a Miami defense that's known for its speed. And right now, Toledo's controlling that speed with aggression in the trenches.
Number 81, Chris Holmes, is the difference. He's 6'6", 265 as a tight end, and he's collapsing the right side or the left side, wherever he is at.
After a run of 10, first snap from Redhawk territory, Jalen Parmalee, the freshman running back from here in Michigan, out of Midland, in the central part of the state. The freshman was really giving them a good speed element in the backfield.
Chris Wakeman, the left guard. Watch him pull right there, number 76. That's the way to stop it there, Kirk. He gets in the face of that linebacker, gives him some running room.
Gives him some running room. Yep. Good vision there to be able to pop it up. And again, look at the down and distance. 2nd and 3. Yeah. It's very manageable downs for this offense here on the first drive. Rob Spence, the offensive coordinator, doing a great job of mixing up not only formations, but also different run plays.
2nd and 3 on this opening drive. And just shy of the first down to Parmalee, depending on the spot. 38 carries, averaged about 4.5 yards per carry. Good change of pace in this Toledo backfield.
See, this is exactly what Toledo wants, because if you look at the adjustments from what Miami has done here, is they're bringing everybody to the line of scrimmage, including their safeties, because now Toledo goes back. The guys upstairs see that. Now their bread and butter is going to be a play action off the same run action, pull it up and try to hit their receiver Lance Moore, maybe on a post route right behind where those safeties were.
And remember one thing, Gronkowski hurt his left shoulder.
Right.
He did not hurt his right shoulder, which he's a right-handed quarterback.
And they pick up the first down. It's been 8 runs, no passes, and it's really been 7 designed runs. The only scramble by Gronkowski where he got hurt. One time we looked like we were going to have receivers in play here.
Mike Devlin, the offensive line coach, is an Iowa guy. They look just like Iowa coming out of that ball game. Same color uniforms coming off the ball. That's good Big Ten football, only it's the MAC championship.
Very good lineman. Offensive lineman of the year, his senior year in the Big Ten. Played in the NFL with Buffalo and Arizona. On 1st and 10, Steve Odom in motion. Here comes the pass for Odom. Downfield behind the corner and touchdown. .33 yards to put the Rockets on the board.
Well, the coaches are seeing the same thing that we're seeing. The Miami safeties had to start to cheat up to the line of scrimmage because of the success of that physical running game. Next thing you know, you knew eventually, you didn't realize it was, look at the safety. He went right by the safety, Burke, and he beat the corner, Hunter, and you get a one-on-one opportunity for the Toledo offense. These receivers are good enough to make you pay for it, and that'll be a matchup to watch the rest of this night.
Third-year kicker Jason Robbins bangs through the extra point for the 50th time this year. Terrific 74-yard opening drive. Gronkowski hurt on the drive, but comes back. First pass of the night. First touchdown. 33 yards to Steve Odom. 7-0 Toledo. We mentioned this is the 8th MAC championship game. Back to the first one, 1997. Randy Moss and Marshall at home against Toledo. They won that game in dominant fashion, 34-13. Moss ended up scoring 3 touchdowns on the night. Saw a good touchdown reception from Steve Odom to cap off that 9-play drive and put Toledo on top 7-0. Gronkowski still feeling that chest plate area there where he took the hit, but came in to throw the touchdown. Mike Krespitsky, the kickoff man, and returned by Corey Kirkpatrick out to the 26-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Toledo mixed it up very well on that first drive. They were able to run for over 40 yards. Look at the safeties bite up on the action. And right away, as a quarterback, the protection is there. Everybody's focused on the run, and that's when you're able to slip a receiver downfield and one-on-one. And by the way, Darrell Hunter, the corner that he went right by, as a senior in high school, Middletown High School, won the state 100 and 200 meters, which is very impressive. He's got a lot of speed, and Odom went right by him.
Middletown, Ohio?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, right near Centerville.
Down by Cincinnati.
From the Dayton area, Josh Betts, the quarterback. His first toss is very close to a first down for Michael Larkin. So Larkin catches a ball in an NCAA record 49th straight game.
Got that out of the way.
Yeah, he got it done quick. So here is Betts, guys. When asked, how are you going to fill Ben Roethlisberger's shoes? He said, well, I wear size 14s. Ben was a 13. He has handled all the, hey, bend this, bend that, very well.
Yes.
Well enough that he completed 62% of his passes through 19 touchdowns on the year. Luke Clemens, his 6th-year senior running back, takes it out to the 40, a first down gain of about 3.5. Around Josh Betts, it is Clemens, who has 800 yards rushing this year, and 3 good receivers. Corbin, Ryan Robinson, a game breaker, and Michael Larkin, the second cousin of Barry and Byron Larkin. Up front, Crasium, Norton, Raker, Londot. They had to move guys around this year because they were having some issues up front when the season started. Their moves proved to be very effective. All 5 positions were changed up front, and that was the time Miami turned its season around. Quarterback draw with Betts. He'll be a couple of yards shy of the first down. We'll have third and, about 3 against the Toledo defense that's given up a lot of yards at different points this year. Alexander, the senior, is the best guy up front. 4.5 sacks, top tackling defensive lineman. As for the linebackers, Jordan, Broussard, Thomas, and Jackson will be the 4. You see 2 there because they have 5 players in the secondary. Sometimes it's a 4-2-5, sometimes it's a 4-4-3. Patrick Body, their free safety, is the best in the back, number 11. 3rd and 3. And here is Clemens around the right side. First down across midfield for Luke Clemens. Pickup of 8. We're in downtown Detroit at Ford Field, right next door to Comerica Park, which will host the Major League Baseball All-Star Game next year. 7 years of the MAC championship game, it's been on campus. This is the first time they moved it to a neutral site, and a couple of Ohio teams have made it here to Michigan to see who gets to come back here, because the winner, as Chris Fowler told you at the top, will represent the league in the Motor City Bowl against Connecticut. the Silicon Valley Bowl, likely in line for the team that doesn't win here tonight. Next to throw, wide open, line. Check that, it is Josh Williams taking it to the 5. So Josh Williams, the junior who sat out because of academics in 2002, has come back with a good season this year. That one to pick up a 43 yards.
Now this could be a shootout. Watching from up here the way these offenses are moving around, and again, ability to run the football. Look at the defense flow to Clemens. Look at number 11, Bodie, the safety, gets out of position. It opens it up, and Williams has enough speed to get upfield.
The play was successful because Josh Besh made a really good fake and held those safeties, boop, right over the top. Quarterback faking is key when you're going to run those play-action passes.
Vogel, the extra tight end, comes in. Power formation to run Luke Clemens into the end zone. Touchdown, Miami.
How about that for answering?
That's a quick answer, too.
Quick answer, too, Mike.
2 minutes, 41 seconds after Toledo score.
Check out the blocking on the left side. Crasium, Norton just burying the Toledo defensive line into the turf. Made it pretty easy for Luke Clemens to walk into the end zone.
Miami alternates its kickers. No joke. Jared Parsegian, the great nephew of the legendary Ara Parsegian, bats through the extra point. And after a 74-yard Toledo touchdown drive, Miami goes 74 yards in 6 plays, and we've got a 7-7 tie.
Well, boys, lock in. This could be interesting. See if we have any adjustments.
Look at all the points we've seen scored by Miami of Ohio this year. This was their second trip to Metro Detroit. They lost at Michigan 43-10. They turned the ball over 7 times, and Michigan scored 6 of those 7 times. Then they lost to Cincinnati, and then after the loss to Marshall, there they are 2-3, and they're wondering what's going on here. Made those offensive line changes I talked about, some other things the guys will add, and there you go, the winning streak 6 in a row, including beating Toledo a month ago by 7. That game seen on ESPN too.
You got to give Shane Montgomery, the offensive coordinator for Miami, a lot of credit there, because Kirk, he ran some really nice plays and set up that touchdown pass. He's a former quarterback from North Carolina State and one of the bright young coaches in America.
Last year, and it wasn't just Ben Roethlisberger, but last year he was a finalist for the Frank Boyles Award, which goes to the Assistant Coach of the Year. And he is showing this year what a great young mind he is in this game as an offensive coordinator, getting it done. If you take Martin Nance out, who got hurt in the Marshall game, he's really had 7 new starters on this offense this year, including losing Ben Roethlisberger.
An ACL injury to Nance, who's the top receiver. Kickoff by Soderquist, and a return for Lance Moore. Good job there at the 15-yard line by Jared Gaines and Justin Davis on special teams coverage. Take you back a month ago to November the 2nd, the last meeting between these teams. It was in Oxford on election night. Toledo fumbled 4 times, turned into 17 points. Betts and Ryan Robinson had 9 hookups there. Luke Clemens, the go-ahead score, 23-16. Then Gradkowski sacked by Alfonso Hodge, and Tom Amstutz congratulates Terry Hepner on a 7-point Miami win. So hard to beat a team twice in the regular season and postseason. Very rarely do you see it in college football, except we have these championship games in the larger leagues. Scooter McDougal stopped that time.
Are you listening, Auburn? I'm serious. That Auburn-Tennessee game, we're talking about teams that could change the whole landscape of the bowl championship series. Kirk, that's going to be a tough ball game for Auburn to beat them twice in a row.
Yeah, it's always tough. And Tennessee, can they play any worse than the time that we saw Auburn go into Knoxville and dominate them in every aspect of the game on both sides of the ball?
It's the start of conference championship weekend. And a couple of exciting games, very significant games. Screen, first one of the night, McDougal. And Scooter takes it to the 26. We'll have 3rd and 2. If you like the screen pass, stay around tonight. Toledo They are the screen king in college football.
And let me explain that screen to you. Most screens when I was coaching were to the outside. Watch this screen to the inside. You know who made this famous? Southern California with Michael Bush and Norm Chow. It's a screen, Kirk, right over the middle of the line. I think it's sensational.
Yeah, and when you have linemen that can move the way Toledo has, it's very effective, and it's something they always use to slow down that defense's pass rush.
Third and a couple. You see Miami tight defensively, so Gradkowski goes to the air and incomplete for his tight end, Chris Holmes. Toledo lost its best tight end. Andrew Clark injured his hip. He was first-team all-conference last year, out for the season. Holmes has come in and picked up right where he left off, a 29 catch. One of the best tight end conference seasons for Holmes.
Holmes is second-team All-MAC this year. Mike coming in off the bench there.
Brett Curran kicks to Ryan Robinson, who has 5 career punt returns for a touchdown and had 3 called back this year. An extraordinary return man, just a sophomore. Don't think Toledo had enough people on the line. They may have to re-kick this. Robinson from the 29 is hemmed in on a well-covered kick, and he's brought down at the 31 by Antonio Malone, the corner. First flag of the night. First time we visit with Stan Evans. His crew in the MAC get the honor of working the championship game.
Beautiful.
Pick that flag up.
Beautiful facility here.
Oh,
isn't it? Remember last year we did
There's
the
no
MAC
flag on the
championship
play.
up at Bowling
The call
Green.
was only 6 players on the line of scrimmage.
mud
7
bowl.
players stepped up to the line right before the snap.
Oh,
No foul.
Frozen tundra.
yeah.
It was cold that night.
Mike, is this an all-star officiating crew? Or is it one where they all come together as one group?
I'm not sure. I think it's the best crew of the year, actually.
Okay.
Let's watch as they got the 7th man to step up to the line. Once you have 7 on the line, you're okay. Looked like everybody was standing still, but I guess he stepped up a little bit earlier than the referee indicated, so Miami will take over at its own 32. Beautiful campus down there. We were there last year, Miami of Ohio, 35 miles north of Cincinnati, 45 miles southwest of Dayton. Here's Ryan Robinson, get the ball in his hands. He can make things happen to midfield. Gain of 17, first down. The sophomore's nickname is Highlight. He creates plenty.
See this cushion here that Morris is giving Robinson, and a little play action fake by the time Robinson catches it. Morris, as a freshman, he's 12 to 15 yards off the line of scrimmage, which gives Robinson plenty of room in the open field to pick up a first down.
What made that play was the shotgun. Betts really threw that ball out there quick.
He has a good arm.
Yes, he does.
Side handoff to Clemens, bounces off it at midfield and kept climbing forward for 4 yards. Bernard Faithful out of King High School here in Detroit. Freshman made the tackle. Guys, the Under Armour advantages for tonight.
Toledo, offensive firepower. They're number 7 in the nation in total offense, and they never give up. They're never out of it. They've had 2 second-half rallies the last 2 ball games, Northern Illinois and Bowling Green, to come from behind. That's how they got here, Kirk.
Well, I think if you look at what Miami of Ohio has done, they were 2-3 at one point. They've been able to win 6 in a row. They're here at this championship game. And the championship experience, a lot of these players were on this team last year. A lot of them started, and that'll help them with the mindset throughout this ball game.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Good keep by Betts, who takes it just to the first down line at the 40-yard line. Betts has had 3 rushing touchdowns and a long of 36 on the ground this year.
That was a sensational fake by Josh Betts. I thought the running back had the ball for sure. You think, Kirk, that was great ball handling. Nice ball handling on both quarterback side.
Yep, good job by the backs carrying out their fakes. Josh Betts, it's been, of course, living in Ohio, I knew about Josh Betts coming out of high school, out of Vandalia Butler High School near Dayton. A guy that has incredible confidence when you talk to him. And I think you almost need that when you're filling the shoes of Ben Roethlisberger with everything that he accomplished last year. You need to have a little bit of that swagger. When I talked to him today, I said, how much pressure did you feel trying to live up to what Roethlisberger did? And he said, I didn't really feel the pressure from what Ben did. I put pressure on myself because I knew what I was capable of doing in this offense, and I felt prepared to go out and do it. And I think early in the year he was probably pressing.
Yes.
But I think now he has settled in, and the adjustments they made up front to the offensive line have also obviously helped him in his offense.
Picked up the first down there, back to the air. Completion to R.J. Corbin. The first down out at the 25-yard line. Sophomore out of Indianapolis. Betts 4 of 4 here in the early going.
And this is the best pass of the day. Watch him get hit on your left side of your picture. Watch Betts. Boom! Right in his face, and he stayed right in there, Kirk. That was a great pass.
One of these guys that loves to come off the play action fake and get rid of the ball. Alexander, the best pass rusher from Toledo, is putting the pressure on him. But did you see how Betts got his feet underneath him, settled his feet, and that's why he's able to put the velocity on it. He's a guy that feels more comfortable sitting back there in the pocket throwing the football.
Toledo forced to take a timeout. Miami driving for the lead here at the MAC title game. America's Motor City, the Big Three headquartered right here in the neighborhood. If you've ever been to Greenfield Village, they've got some wonderful displays. The history of American, really worldwide automotive travel here in Detroit. From the 26, it's first down. Betts to the air, plenty of time. Wow, hauled in by his tight end, Dan Tyler. He has a very strong arm. Pick up a 9, Keon Jackson made the tackle. All right, Saturday, wrap up that regular season. 11 a.m. ESPN2. Number 21, Pittsburgh, trying to get to the BCS. Tyler Palko and company take on South Florida. ESPN 7:45 Eastern. Cal's got to have it to be in the BCS. Taking on Southern Miss. That game also available like tonight on ESPN HD.
Mike, you know this better than we do with the numbers. Pittsburgh loses. If they were to lose, they're still going to go to the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah. Essentially, it's it.
So I don't know if they really are.
Second of the yard, Luke Clemens, first down. Inside the 10, good hard running to the 9-yard line. Pittsburgh and Syracuse, the only two teams left alive for the Big East bid by virtue of the tiebreakers and the votes in the polls. There'll be enough there for Pittsburgh, plus their computer rankings, to be higher in the rankings of the BCS, thus get the Big East spot.
Sean, you know, we talk about Shane Montgomery, the quarterback, who's coach who's calling all the plays. This is great stuff. He's had 4 passes and 4 runs on 1st and 10. I mean, that's absolutely perfect. An average of 11 yards per play. That's why he's got this.
That's not bad, is it?
Oh, I'm telling you.
That's pretty good.
That's perfect balance.
Yep.
We'll talk about coaching changes later. It's a future head coach, whether it's now, a couple of years. Shane's got all the tools. The throw to Josh Williams. Takes it down to the 4-yard line. See Nigel Morris along with Patrick Boddy in the secondary there.
This Toledo defense believes in pressure. They believe in blitzing and taking chances. And a lot of times this year, because they're so young up front, they've had to do that. And it's backfired on them. They're 115th in the nation coming into tonight. Pass defense. So you could tell that they're very concerned about the pass and maybe spending too much time. It's opened up some running lanes.
Yeah, I like that. They were in defensive confusion, changing personnel. So one of the guys on the way by accidentally kicked the football, so they had to respot it. That's great.
Yeah,
if you're having trouble getting your guys on, coach that.
Absolutely.
Kick the ball away. Oops, sorry. Second and goal. Clemens scored the touchdown earlier that time. He was stopped by Anthony Jordan, second leading tackler on this team, a 3-year starter. They call him the old man around Toledo because on June 2nd of 2002, he graduated high school. On June 9th, he was at the Toledo campus getting ready. His parents paid the extra money so he could live in a dorm. And he is just eating, sleeping, and drinking Rocket football for 3 years, doing well in school as well. Started as a true freshman, been starting ever since. Has to help the defense come up with a play on 3rd and goal. You roll with Betts. And you see there's nobody there. How about the throwback? Incomplete, but a marker came down. And Betts thinks his guys gonna have a chance to keep it going.
Hi, George.
A hold there on the Rockets. George Perlis, former Michigan State head coach, comes in for a hello.
Number 11. The foul is penalized half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Patrick Boddy is called, the free safety.
It's an obvious call. I mean, they had a couple guys that were holding bodies. The guy, the culprit, who ends up getting called for it, but Josh Betts caught a break there because he waited until the last possible second. All of his receivers were going back to the middle of the field, and there's nobody there that was open.
1st and goal, Clemens. This is a good goal line stand here for Toledo. They've done a nice job inside the 5 of stopping up the defense for Miami.
That time, Keon Jackson, 5'11", 205 from East Chicago, Indiana, stepped right in. He's a second-team All-MAC player as a rover. And I like the way Kirky came across the line of scrimmage. The only way you can have goal line stands is you've got to get penetration. You got to be in that secondary, and that backfield rush, you never stop him.
The last 2 or 3 times Miami's tried to run the ball here inside the 5, we finally have seen these outside linebackers and inside linebackers making their presence felt.
Play 11 of the drive. They brought in Matt Vogel again, that tight end who motions. The fade to the corner. Was it held on to? Yes, Michael Larkin. Touchdown. Touchdown of the season for one of the famous athletic names in Ohio history.
Well, as a corner, Malone's got to realize with such a tight split from Larkin that he's going to be going to the corner on a fade route. He gave himself plenty of room, a nice cushion, and how about the throw by Josh Betts, just putting it right over the shoulder for a touchdown.
Ben Roethlisberger never threw a better pass than that one, bet you. I'm telling you, Mike, that was a perfect pass.
Todd Soderquist on to bang the extra point, and he gets it through there, the left-hand side, as they continue to alternate kickers with Parsegian and Soderquist. So Larkin gets his 32nd career touchdown, and as I mentioned earlier, he has caught a ball in 49 consecutive games. That's an NCAA record of a chance to make it 50 in the bowl game. He got that out of the way on the first one and hit the touchdown.
And again, the cushion here by Larkin, the great throw by Josh Betts right over the shoulder. And right now, Josh Betts is on fire. 7 of 7 for 98 yards and a score.
And that sky cam almost got in the way right there. That ball went right past the sky cam. But I tell you, that's great reaction by Michael Larkin. And the thing I liked about him, he's now had 32 touchdown passes in his career. That's third in the nation of any active player playing college football right now. The number 1 guy, Braylon Edwards in Michigan.
And it was Larkin's first game in the Big House against Michigan. The only game he didn't catch a pass in his college career. Every other game he has caught one, up to that record now, 49. And because of the Mid-American Conference and the championship game, you only have a few schools where you can be like the Big 12, where you can have that. And he had the advantage of this 12-game seasons a couple of times. He's setting a record that may be hard to get.
And what's more impressive is when Martin Nance, who was their go-to guy, went down in the Marshall game, Michael Larkin not only stepping up to be the go-to receiver, but he's become a real leader for this offense and these group of wide receivers this year.
Lance Moore returns it out to the 24-yard line, and here's Jill Arrington.
Well, Miami's team motto all season has been defend what's ours. Never more true tonight as they're trying to defend their MAC championship. But most of all, they want to show people out there that last year's team, it wasn't a fluke, that they deserve to be here. Now, Coach Hefner, he challenged the team. He said, hey, guys, was this a one-man team, fellas, last year? Well, tonight they get to answer that. Sure looks like Josh Betts is doing a good job showing them who they are this year.
Yeah, Jill, go back to 73 through 75, the last time the school had back-to-back championships. They ended number 10 in the country last season. And after the slow start, have really turned it around in a very satisfying way for this coaching staff. Scooter McDougal, the lone back, and he runs on first down. Spun out of a would-be tackle, but was hauled down by Matt Pusateri and Jared Rich. Pusateri out of Dublin, Ohio, the Columbus suburb over there. They call him on the team Poo Llama, like the Dalai Lama. Not from the college football, college game day ads, the all-knowing one, but he's the guy who knows everything, does everything on this defense, and as I said, starts for the 50th time here tonight.
Former walk-on. Their walk-on program in Miami has always been excellent. Even when I coached at Indiana, they always got really good football players to go to Miami as a walk-on program.
After the loss of 3, Bruce Gradkowski, 1 touchdown pass already tonight. Has 5 receivers to choose from, and it's brought down by Steve Odom. A yard shy of the first down. Where the mark is, and they give it to him. A very friendly mark out at the 35-yard line. Well, Sunday night, 6 Eastern on ESPN, the College Game Day Bowl Selection Special presented by Outback Steakhouse. Chris Lee and Kirk, hey, it's you guys.
Yeah.
Bring it all down.
I bet you we have a cast of thousands, too.
Yeah, it's the whole, I think the whole,
everybody.
Yeah.
I'm just reading the card here. It says Chris Lee and Kirk and Mark and Trev on there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got to be
Reese.
Reese.
Reese? I'll be home. You guys want to dial me up?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll be around. Sure. Look forward to that. From the 35, it's hauled in by the second-team all-conference tight end Holmes, and he takes it to the 39, a gain of 4. After all the moving and posturing, the guys will go through every bowl game that's out there. Some of the matchups have been set already, but obviously once the BCS is set, it will answer the rest of the questions and get our first peek at all those bowl games coming up.
The bowl game of the year. Liberty Bowl, Boise State, Louisville. I'm telling you, Mike, that's going to be as good as any game in the country.
2nd and 6 here for Toledo. Both of these teams will go bowling. Screen fake to the left, back to the right, and Moore, who's in some trouble, now picking up a couple of blocks to get it past the line of scrimmage and out to the 41-yard line. It's like a Toledo staple. It is fake the screen one way and come back to another screen.
This is a play that hurt Miami of Ohio in the first matchup against Toledo. But watch how well, look at the defensive linemen. They know it. There are keys that they're seeing. Glavin, 65 that time, head on a swivel for a 300-pounder. He's looking around to find out where's the screen coming from. One thing they worked on over and over and over in getting ready for this game were the screens, especially the receiver screens from both sides.
And the more you work on screens, the less you work on pass rush. They haven't sacked that quarterback yet.
The quarterbacks are 12 of 13. They've thrown 2 touchdowns. Miami leads by 7 after 1. Champions of the West in the Mid-American Conference, Toledo. Champions of the East, Miami of Ohio. Quarter number 2 of the Marathon Mac Championship, presented by Cooper Tires, with Jill Arrington, Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, Mike Tirico. Glad you're with us here at Ford Field. We'll start the quarter with 3rd and 3 after a very good offensive quarter on both sides. Toledo scored first, but Tom Amstutz' team has seen Miami score on back-to-back possessions to take a 7-point lead. 3rd and 3 for the quarterback, Bruce Gradkowski. And the junior finds his top receiver, Lance Moore. Lots of room to run. To the 23-yard line. Gain of 35.
What a great play call by Rob Spence. What he did, number 1, Lance Moore comes out and he isolates him one-on-one with the linebacker. Watch him come across on the left-hand side. He's one-on-one with the linebacker, Kirk. Boom, he hits him right there, and then it's all over. That was a really good call by Spence.
Yeah, it was a great call, but Wewo, the safety, is supposed to come up and support. There's no way a linebacker can stay with Moore. That safety had to come up and make a play to help him out.
Scooter McDougal is tackled by Matt Pusateri, gain of a yard. And Kirk, you talk about Wewo, that's the one player on this defense where they are weak because they've had a couple of injuries.
Well, they've had injuries. Burke was the man who's been trying to play tonight through some pain. Card has been out. Wewo is a former corner who's trying to play the safety spot. But that time he needed to be there to help Rehag. Lee, you're exactly right. Yeah. Isolated one-on-one. More against a linebacker. That's pitching and catching pretty easy.
That's NFL style. That's perfect for this stadium right here.
They don't see that often in this stadium unless the opponent's doing it.
We're looking for some pitch and catch here. 2nd and 9, Gradkowski. Only a gain of a few yards to Scooter McDougal. Caught 24 balls during the regular season. Well, it's game track for those of you just tuning in to this Mid-American Conference title game tonight. Gradkowski and Toledo on the board first. 8 runs and then a 33-yard touchdown pass to Steve Odom. But Miami did respond on the very next drive with a touchdown. That's leading him down the field. He's been perfect all night. And his 7th pass, the touchdown, hauled in by Michael Larkin. 3rd and 6 from here. A field goal's 35. Pressure. Gradkowski flushed. McDougal. Great open field play by Ryan Reed, the nickelback. 4th and 3 coming up.
Miami mixing up the play calling. They've not had a lot of success on 3rd down. Up to that point, Toledo had been 3 of 4 on 3rd down. That time they said, you know what, let's get out of the man pressure. Let's sit back and play zone, try to keep it in front of us and come up and make a tackle. And Ryan Reed was able to do that to keep Toledo short of the 1st down.
Like it or not, I like this football call. You know why? It's a big go for it. You know why? Proactive. We're here to win. Forget that field goal. Go for touchdowns every time you're down there. I love this call.
McDougal and Parmalee the backs. The snap was high. Gradkowski waiting. And throws incomplete as nobody came open. So Miami of Ohio will take over at its own 50.
Coach, I told you should have kicked the field goal. Well, that's what the fans are doing right now. Remember, they're all cheering, go for it. And he got, what a dumb coach. That's exactly what the fans do.
This time, of course, they want to get the ball to their best receiver, Lance Moore. The coverage, not only from one of the corners, but also they got a linebacker, Turney Nande. They were determined. One guy that's not going to make the catch is Lance Moore, the best receiver from Toledo. And you know what? Gradkowski, and talking to him, when he gets into those kind of situations, he admitted to me that, you know, I would go through my progressions, but I'll be honest, I want to try to dial up Lance Moore. He's my roommate. He's the guy I always work with. And that time, Miami was on to Gradkowski. They took him out of the play.
He's only caught 185 passes the last 2 years.
Like a security blanket.
Hello, McFly. First down from the 15. And Betts takes off. He gets spun like a pretzel at the 20-yard line by David Thomas and Anthony Jordan. Thomas from right here in Detroit. After 7 years on campus, Mid-American Conference, making another step towards being a bigger-time league, playing in a neutral field. They used to alternate west and east for the home field advantage. They signed a 3-year deal to play their title game here. Of course, you have Eastern, Central, and Western Michigan in this state. Such a good Ohio presence as well for the Mid-American Conference with Toledo and Bowling Green, Miami, Akron, Kent State, and Ohio. Luke Clemens is stopped on this second down run by Keon Jackson. Third time we've called his name tonight.
Just amazed to watch this Miami offense operate, averaging now 19 plays, about 8 yards per snap. To think about where they were 5 games into the season, confusion with the offensive line. They've made some adjustments up front, and to look at them now, this is just it's a well-oiled machine.
But Toledo at that time changed their defense philosophy. They came after him with the blitz. Not this time. Here they come again.
3rd and 5. Betts hit. Stuck it in there. Complete to Michael Larkin. Much like Gradkowski goes to Moore, Betts goes to Larkin. First down.
I tell you what, that Josh Betts, Kirk, is tough. That linebacker came up the middle. He stayed right in there, and poof, watch him. Watch him on this one. Once the linebacker's coming, ping!
He knows he's going to get drilled, but he sits right in there, takes the shot, which you have to do. You know you're not going to be able to account for him. But the job, little things by Larkin. It's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. He finds exactly where he has to go, and that's why, as a quarterback, you know to go to Larkin because he's going to take his route to the first down line.
Motion on this one, and Miami will be flagged for the first time tonight. Also have a clock issue as well, I believe.
Before the play began, false start on the offense. The line left before the ball was snapped. It's a 5-yard penalty, still first down. Please set the game clock to 10 minutes, 32 seconds.
Last year, we marveled at the Miami of Ohio offensive line. John Peterson was their line coach. He's now helping at Ohio State. And one thing I've noticed in studying Miami over the last few years is Terry Hepner, as a head coach, recruits offensive linemen who are athletes. This group averaged, when they came in as freshmen, 257 pounds. They're now 299 pounds across.
First and 15. The pass is incomplete. It was good man coverage on Brandon Murphy, but better pressure from Phil Alexander, the defensive end.
You got to give Coach Dan Dalrymple, Kirk, you were just talking about the strength coach, 3-time all-MAC strength coach, is the reason why.
Yeah, I just love to see athletes on the offensive line. And whether maybe you recruit a defensive lineman or a tight end and you turn them into offensive linemen, they have such success at Miami of Ohio by getting athletic men up front, redshirt them, let them hit the weights, and by the time they're ready to play, they're up to 300 pounds. But it's a good 300 pounds and not a sloppy 300 pounds.
2nd and 15. More blitz. Betts stays in there. After his first incompletion, his 9th completion. Flag down as Ryan Robinson won't go down out to the 40-yard line. Flag's down at the line of scrimmage. Betts has taken some shots here.
Oh.
Number 37, Nigel Morris, defensively for Toledo. This one's coming back.
Illegal formation on the offense. Not enough players on the line of scrimmage. All three receivers on the left side of the formation were off the line. It's a 5-yard penalty.
Watch number
second down.
Oh, I'm sorry. Watch Antonio Malone, number 30, right there. I'm telling you, I know that this guy is a maybe questionable quarterback compared to Roethlisberger.
Oh, okay.
But let me tell you something. I'm very impressed with his toughness tonight. And he's only a junior at 6'3", 225. Remember his name?
He was a great prospect.
Yes.
Oh,
but compared to Roethlisberger.
yeah, he's 9-1 in the NFL. Whatever the Steelers.
No, has a loss. Direct snap to Betts. On 2nd and 20, he gets just a yard. 3rd and long coming up, and you like the wrinkle here. The pressure from Toledo has taken Miami out of its rhythm a little bit.
What's interesting about Betts is, you know, when you talk to quarterbacks, some of them have almost an arrogance about them, a swagger about them, and some people are offended by that. I tend to like it, and when he talks to you, he's talking like, you know, he loved Ben. Ben was great, but this is my team now. This is my offense, and we can do just as many things as this offense did last year.
Haven't been many great timid quarterbacks. This time a little better pickup of the blitz. Kirkpatrick cannot haul it in. The pass intended for Corey, just out of his reach. And Toledo's defense gets the Miami offense off the field.
The reason why they got him off the field, Lou West, the defensive coordinator, started using more pressure. That's a really good adjustment by the defensive coordinator, Lou West, from Cincinnati, 77 graduate there.
Coached with our colleague Bob Davey at Notre Dame, also coached at Virginia Tech before that. Mike Wofsig is the punter. Career average 40.5. That's 4th in Miami history. Lance Moore back deep to receive. Loving kicking in this dome, isn't he? 50 yards, no return. Toledo will take over at the 33. Good game. Back title game from Detroit. Miami of Ohio on top 14-7 as Toledo's offense takes the field again. And that is the mom of quarterback Bruce Gradkowski, Debbie Gradkowski. She's a trip. She's a funny lady. Bruce told us some great stories about his mom yesterday. Her son is looking deep downfield for Steve Odom, and the pass was incomplete. The safety, Matt Pusateri, was there on the coverage.
Now, they've been really trying to isolate Odom against a safety or a linebacker throughout most of this game. A great coverage by Pusateri, who doesn't have necessarily great speed, but he's always in the right position because of the way his instincts feel for this game.
Just telling you about Bruce's mom. She is really into football. Bruce said his weekly phone calls are great. Mom's giving her like the game plan, the mental strategy for the week. One of his toughest critics is his mom. Why'd you do this? Yeah. He says she is a Western Pennsylvania football mom. She loves her football and loves sharing this opportunity with her son, who's done a terrific job this year. Scooter McDougal takes it for a yard. Alfonso Hodge the tackle. Jill has more on Mrs. Gradkowski.
That's right. Well, I found out from Bruce, his mom's advice on the phone before this game was have control of the game and stay in control of the game. Now, that might sound simple, but you guys know mother knows best.
That's right.
We saw her was it last week? Was Thanksgiving last week?
It was.
Okay, last week after the Pittsburgh game.
Making the escape at Heinz Field.
We're sticking around.
But remember,
she
Gradkowski's cousin.
Yeah, Joe Del Sardo. The receiver for Pittsburgh with that great one-handed catch against Rutgers in the end zone.
Yes, sir.
One of the best catches of the year. 3rd and 9 for Debbie Gradkowski's son, who throws complete to Odom again, but a yard shy of the first down.
But do you go for it? What do you think? Why not?
It's the 42-yard line.
Go for it.
I know this is an old, boring point, but it's a point for anybody who plays receiver. You just saw about a series ago Mike Larkin take it a yard beyond the first down line, and now you just saw Odom, and the ball may have brought him back a bit, but Odom didn't take it a yard past, and now they're 4th and 1, and they're going to have to punt the football.
I would have gone for it.
You're on 41?
Yeah,
it's a new use.
It's a title game. Go for it. What's the difference?
You're the guy that doesn't want to kick a field goal when you're up by 3 to go up by 6 because of field position. And now you're ready to go for it on your own 41.
It's a title game, and let me tell you what, I would go up there and I'd think, hut, try to drop all aside.
Well, that's not going for it.
Yeah, it would be fake going for it. But I sure would line up and punt.
Come on, what are you?
All right, that's just, I'm telling you. He might change his mind right now because he just heard me.
Timeout.
See, he heard.
We'll see. Be right back. MAC championship game 1999. Western Michigan and Marshall with a great finish. Western scoring late to go up 30-27 in Huntington. But Chad Pennington, who worked himself all the way to the Heisman in New York, there in the room, didn't win it, but certainly involved in the mix. The touchdown pass to Eric Pinkerton as he and Bobby Pruitt got to share the title.
Guess what?
They're going, baby. They're going.
Way to go, sweetheart. Amstutz, way to go.
Whoa. They've gone power jumbo, big, heavy.
Double
Hassan Davizian is coming to the lineup to block.
Yeah, go for it.
First down. It's a Scooter McDougal.
That's it.
Gain of 7 yards.
Now watch him. They're in. That away, Tom.
That wasn't your freeze call, though.
Yeah, Debbie, he went for it. Let me tell you something. That's why the guy has won 3 Mid-American Conference West Division titles, outright championship 201. He's a Toledo guy, right? That's it. That's the call Mom made.
And quarterback's mom loved that call. 1st and 10 from the 49. So Toledo rolls the dice, comes up with the conversion, and keeping it on the ground here. McDougal is stopped for a yard. So Miami continues to bring the defensive waves higher and higher. John Beesing was there on that tackle. If they had an Olympic competition at Miami for the football team, John Beesing would win it.
And Ternanande wouldn't be far behind. Those 2 outside linebackers from Miami of Ohio athletically are about as gifted as you'll see in the country. Both these guys will test out well when it's their time to get ready for the NFL. You notice that the first drive, it was a lot of 2nd and 3s and 3rd and 1s, and they've not been able to run the football as well since that first drive.
2nd and 9, and this toss takes it out to the 45-yard line with McDougal. Now we're going to have 3rd and 3.5. 11 a.m. Eastern, ESPN2 on Saturday. Pittsburgh, the great win they had over West Virginia on Thanksgiving night. They'll take on South Florida. And then, of course, Cal heading down to Hattiesburg to take on Southern Mississippi. Both of these games rescheduled from the hurricanes that came through Florida earlier in the year.
Look at Santa Claus.
I don't know if Santa wears a watch. He knows when you're awake and can see you when he's sleeping. Doesn't he know the time without looking? 3rd and 4 for Grodkowski. Covered, intercepted. Frank Wewo, the safety, who earlier made a mistake there, had a very good read and comes up with the interception, his first on the season.
Well, very good read of reading Grodkowski's eyes. If you watch Grodkowski when he dropped back that time, he locked in the whole way down the field, and I think the safety Wewo put himself right in perfect position to step in front to make the interception. Great shot of it right there. Look at him jump it right before the ball is even thrown. He's ready to make a move on Holmes and pick up the big turnover for the Miami Redhawks.
As you said, worth repeating, a former cornerback out of Miami, Florida, makes the play there for Miami of Ohio. So from the 40, here is Betts. Looking to get a receiver open there with those screens. He's going to take an 8-yard sack. Keon Jackson once again on a play that will not be well reviewed in the film session.
That's a play where everybody's going to say, throw it away, throw it away. He's got 5 guys downfield setting up a screen, so you can't really just throw it away. You're going to get an illegal man downfield. Josh Betts was stuck between a rock and a hard spot and decided to just eat it for an 8-yard loss.
The reason why those linemen were down there was a quick screen. They thought there was a ball going to go out to the flanker real quick. It didn't. From then on, he did the right thing, which is to eat the ball right there.
Second and 18. R.J. Corbin comes in motion there. And Betts comes back. That is ruled incomplete. Ryan Robinson never had it. So really here early on, both defenses have adjusted to what each offense was getting comfortable with. Or settled into a pretty good game. Terry Hepner, good man. 57 years old, 48 wins in his 6th year now as the head coach at Miami of Ohio.
One of the most impressive things I've seen, he takes his wife, Jane, to all the press conferences, all of our meetings and all that. That's really impressive to me. I'd like to congratulate Terry on that.
They're nice people.
Very
good. A lot with Ben Roethlisberger's run last year.
How often do you see a coach and a coach's wife when a quarterback gets selected in the first round standing up with a picture with Paul Tagliabue? Right. That tells you a little bit about his relationship with his players. 3rd and 18. Nice job by Betts, who was flushed, spun, threw for Robinson, and the pass is incomplete. So Toledo gets Miami off the field on back-to-back drives. That's Phil Alexander, that top defensive lineman, doing the chasing again. So Betts started 8 for 8. He's missed on his last 4. And we talked about Terry Hepner, 2nd in Miami history, 48 coaching wins. Who's the all-time leader? That's tonight's Aflac trivia question. And, of course, Miami of Ohio, known as the cradle of coaches, some of the best names in the history of the sport over the years.
No one will get that answer.
No one?
No.
Especially after Mike put that last line of the back in.
Yeah,
that's a little bit of a curveball there.
Killed us.
Wofsig hangs it high. Moore returning from the 17. Tackled at the 26, couple of markers down. 4.4 the hang time, and Bruce Redhawks heading off the field before Toledo's offense takes over. So maybe they're going to get a look at Bruce.
You know what they might be doing, Mike?
Quarter.
I've done this before. If a quarterback's got an injury like that, you take him in so you can give him an extra 10 or 15 minutes of treatment. Because there's only 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go. You take him in there, you give him some time to get treated.
During the return, number 19 on the return team, the illegal block in the back. The penalty is enforced 10 yards from the spot of the foul. It'll be first down.
So is the second
media timeout.
Okay, so I guess we'll take a commercial then. Second straight 50-yard punt. Mom's worried about her son who head back up in the tunnel.
ESPN's presentation of the Marathon Mac Championship is presented by Cooper Tires. Confidence, performance, mileage. Don't give up a thing. And in part by Saturn. People first.
Campus Marshall's Park here, in downtown Detroit as the Christmas season is upon us. 14-7, Miami of Ohio leads. Toledo has its backup quarterback in, Marcus Council, a very athletic player, a redshirt freshman who played well in the spring game, was redshirted in 03, threw only 19 times this year. Scooter McDougal carries and takes it out to the 19-yard line. Much like Bruce Redhawks, he is a Western Pennsylvanian, Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, in the Pittsburgh area.
When I was at Maryland as a recruiter, I used to love to go to Aliquippa because they had those tough, hard-nosed guys, steel mill workers and their sons. Boy, I'd love that football, Terry.
I think some of the best high school football in the country is played in Western Pennsylvania as far as that toughness factor that you're talking about.
There's a little of the Council does best right now is move his feet. But Will Roof knew that was coming. He was there to help make the play.
No matter how much talent Council has as a redshirt freshman, this is the worst field position that Toledo's had the entire game. You're under 4 minutes to go. Very important to just be smart here on third down and not do anything careless and crazy. Just put yourself in a position here to maybe just punt the football away and try to get out of here at halftime down 14-7 and evaluate, like you said, Lee, to find out where Grodkowski is.
That's an excellent point, because what you do here, in my point, is you go and play defense. Don't turn it over right now. That's my opinion. I would not throw the football if I was Ron Spence.
Here it is, confusion.
Good, that's what I do.
Yeah. Well, I try to take a timeout. The problem is they don't have any timeouts. So this will be a 5-yard delay of game flag.
Before the play began, delay of game on the quarterback.
I'm telling you,
5-yard penalty.
you're almost
Still
better
third
off
down.
running either a quarterback draw or a designed scramble, whatever it might be. Just keep the clock moving.
Absolutely.
And see if his feet can pick up a first down.
We'll check on what the injury was to Gradkowski earlier. If you didn't see it in the first quarter, he injured his left shoulder area. His mom had come down to see if he was okay, but then he ended up coming back in the very next play and threw a touchdown pass on that drive. 3rd and 11. To throw the screen. Careful.
I say nothing.
Screen to Lance Moore, and it was almost going back the other way.
Joe Palcic's thinking the same thing that we're thinking as the defense coordinator. Let's put some heat on him. Here's the play that ultimately sent Gradkowski out.
On that throw there,
that has nothing to do, obviously, with the left shoulder. Now we're dealing with the right hand.
Yeah. So a punt. And Ryan Robinson, the great returner, has it at the 44. There's room up that side if he can get there. Cannot. Well covered by Nigel Morris out of Nyack, New York. The DB was very disciplined, stayed there. So as we wonder about Gradkowski, we'll step out. We're back here at Ford Field in downtown Detroit. Miami of Ohio leading Toledo 14-7. Let's piece this together, Kirk.
Well, we thought it was a throw where all of a sudden he made a throw and he looked down. It went back a play before, and it was a hit by Johnson that caused Gradkowski right at the end of this, looks down at his hand, kind of shakes it.
Now watch this wobble him. You can't see it, but you'll see if you could see the ball, it was wobbling on that interception, and that's why they made a good jump on it. So we pieced it together. I'm telling you, it's like Sherlock Holmes put a thing together right there.
That's on first down, gives to Luke Clemens, and he runs it out to the 43-yard line. So that's why the backup quarterback is in there now for Toledo. And this looked like a high-scoring game. We have a lot of points, and all of a sudden the defense has kind of shown up and shut it down, and now we got a Toledo quarterback issue to deal with.
Both defensive coordinators, Kirk, did a great job of going from passive when he started putting the pressure on both quarterbacks.
Yeah, putting a lot more speed, I think, on the perimeter and attacking up front, trying to take away the run. I think right now, you look at under 2 minutes to go here. It's a huge drive for Toledo, considering their starting quarterback right now is in the locker room trying to find out if he's going to come back and be able to play in the second half. Last thing you want to do is get down by 14 and try to come back in the second half, which I know Lee is a very familiar position for Toledo. They like to be down.
I got some great stats for you at halftime. Oh, wait till you hear these stats. Now that's if Gradkowski plays.
That's
I don't have any stats.
For counsel?
For counsel. Just for Gradkowski.
Keep an eye right here. Michael Larkin. See if they can get him the football.
On 3rd and 6 to the senior receiver, 35-yard line, first down.
And again, your quarterbacks are smart when it comes down to 3rd down. They're going to go to the guy that they trust. The guy that, if you have an option, and it's this guy or maybe left side or right side, you're going to pick the left side because all the reps that you put in the offseason that coaches aren't around, other players aren't around, you develop such a relationship that when you get into that 3rd down, you're going to dial up Mike Larkin every time.
The junior Josh Betts pressured from the blind side and brought down by Mike Alston. That is the 4th sack for Alston. He's a linebacker, but in pass rush situations, he plays the defensive end. And he's picked up those sacks that way this year.
Well, that was just effort. They only rushed 4 guys. Alston went right around Crasium and just beat him with speed and quickness. If you can rush 4 and drop 7, you're in good shape trying to stop Josh Betts.
Miami timeout. Be right back.
Where will life's journey take you? Maybe you've always known, or maybe you'll find out one day when you find yourself exactly where you should be. But how do you reach your future? At Miami University, we can help you find your way. We know the journey to your future is as important as the future itself. We'll provide the opportunities so you can find your way. Then, odds are, you'll be ready to lead the way. Miami University, Oxford, Ohio, the most important stop on your road to life.
The drive is on for the 2004 MAC Football Championship game. Thursday, December 2nd at Detroit's Ford Field, home of the Detroit Lions and Super Bowl 40. Get ready for some MAC Motor City mayhem as the beasts of the East meet the best in the West at a neutral site for the first time to decide the league title. Get your tickets now at the Ford Field box office or through Ticketmaster. The 2004 MAC Football Championship. It's a whole new ball game.
Our Aflac trivia question, Terry Hepner's second at Miami, 48 wins. We'll show you the answer after this second down play for the Redhawks. Again, Toledo brings the pressure. Bets to a vacant area, directing, firing downfield for Williams, and it's incomplete. As Josh Williams was well covered by Antonio Malone. Third down ahead, and the answer to the trivia question is...
Nobody got it.
Nobody?
Nope.
Randy Walker, now the coach at Northwestern. Terry Hepner was on that staff, and the staff here with Randy. And Randy won 59 games, but the cradle of coaches, so many great names.
Unbelievable.
Randy Walker and Terry Hepner 1-2 on the list of all-time wins here at Miami of Ohio. So many of those great coaching names eventually moving on. Eubanks, Sid Gilman, the head coach here. There's Ara Parsegian, Woody, and Bo. Sack. Right in the middle of it again is Mike Alston. Second time this drive, third sack by Toledo. And with their quarterback up the tunnel, getting his hand checked on, the defense stands up.
Well, these last few series, it's not just they're bringing more than they can handle. They're just out hustling, excuse me, Miami of Ohio's offensive line. And they're also doing a great job with coverage on the back end.
And they're also, if you'll notice the numbers, 9 and 30, they're bringing delayed linebacker blitz. Mike, can I give you my second half stats?
Go.
Miami has won the last 3 games they've trailed at halftime. That's not good here. But listen to this one. Toledo has won the last 2 weeks with second half rallies. Just remember, the last 2 weeks, they've had big rallies, and Toledo has done it. Now, they've done it with their #1 quarterback, Gradkowski. I don't know if they could do it with Council.
Nope.
But at least stay along, folks. Listen, watch this team in the second half.
And watch halftime with Chris Fowler. He's standing by right now to tell us what's coming up. All right, Chris.
All right, Mike, you guys want to lock into the booth, the Pontiac High Performance Halftime Report. We'll talk about championship Saturday, Atlanta, Kansas City, Miami, Hattiesburg, all the hot spots.
Got my eye on one, the SEC championship game, and why that game, Mark, will be a lot closer than people think.
Well, I want you to tell me why, because they lost 31-10 last time. It was in Tennessee. Tennessee got beaten by Auburn. Closer?
I'll tell you.
Closer? All right. We'll talk about the 4 big games, you guys. No eating, no breaks. Lock in there in the monitors at halftime, and we'll look forward to it.
We'll lock in, don't worry.
I happen to agree with that. I think Tennessee's going to get kicked around all week. Everybody's talking about Auburn's going to kill them. I don't know, especially if Schaefer can play. That'd be a nice little change of pace back there if he can scramble around and make some plays.
Toledo going to try to bring some heat here, coach, on the punt. Well protected by Miami. Wofsig tries to kick it away. Taken dangerously by Moore, who had signaled for a fair catch. The official said he signaled for a fair catch. He's telling the official, I was saying, don't touch the ball.
And let me tell you why I think Moore's right.
Yeah.
He did not signal above his head. He did it below his shoulders.
The stay away signal.
Exactly.
So it doesn't touch you, and then they recover.
The receiver gave a fair catch signal.
No, he didn't.
By rule, he may not advance.
No, he didn't.
First down.
Official's wrong. Show it. Thank you. There you go. See, Tom, I'm telling you, Toledo Tom is right.
Wave it
watch. Now watch it. Like that. It doesn't go above his shoulders. Therefore, it is not a fair catch. Signal. Good job, Toledo Tom.
Oh, he was right. They
didn't help him.
Didn't do a darn thing.
Would have been 5 yards here as they kill the clock. Never know.
Carry by Scooter McDougal will take us to the end of the first half. So the scoring all happened in the first 15. Nothing there in the middle. And 14-7 Miami at the half. And Jill Arrington has Toledo's head coach.
Well, Coach, do you know the status of your starting quarterback? He got banged up his shoulder and now his hand.
Our doctors are in there x-raying him, and we'll see how he is. But we have faith in our other quarterbacks, and we're excited about the second half. We're going to come back out and see what we can do.
Well, Coach, if you go with another quarterback, how much and what will your game plan change in the second half?
Well, he's a redshirt freshman quarterback, so we have to make sure we keep a simple game plan, let him run plays he can execute.
All right, Coach, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Back to you, Mike.
Okay, Jill, thank you. So Miami gets the ball to start the third quarter. 14-7, the Redhawks on top. Herbstreit has a turkey sandwich coming, Chris, and he'll sit and watch halftime.
What are you doing?
Chris, thank you. I think you're going to do that on Thursday nights just in your sleep. Text 644 player and all that. That'd be good. Half number 2 here in downtown Detroit, where they will have Super Bowl 40 in a year and a couple of months. They're also going to have a Final Four in this building. The question in the second half, will Toledo have that man, Bruce Gradkowski, their quarterback, in half number 2? Has a pad on his hand, which he injured there in the first half. And Jill Arrington can update us more on the Toledo quarterback. Jill.
Well, from the medical staff, officially, I can't say if the x-rays were negative or not. I can say that they're looking at the 2 middle fingers on his throwing hand. They have taped them together, and he's going to try to play, so that'd be great news for Toledo.
Okay, Jill, thank you. Remember a couple of years ago with HIPAA, if you've been to the doctor's office and you sign a form, you know, the Privacy Act, and that's affected injury reports, and sometimes you can get information, some you can't, but obviously he's trying to throw and a chance to throw here in the second half. So it's 14-7, all the points scored in the first. Marcus Council might play. Obviously, he has to get himself ready. It would change things for Toledo, but let's look ahead here to the second half. Both teams certainly very much in it as their defensive took control of the game late in the first quarter.
Remember, Toledo won the last 2 ball games with great second half rallies, but Gradkowski was the quarterback. That's a big if.
Miami came out in their first 2 possessions offensively, moving the ball around, doing some good things. I think they've had about 141 yards total offense first 2 possessions. Last 3 possessions, they've had total a combined 2 yards. So Toledo's defense has made some great adjustments, and they're coming after him a lot more.
Mike Krispinski, the kickoff man, kicked it out of bounds for the 8th time this year. That's a lot of kickoffs out of bounds.
No excuse for that coaching-wise.
Ball take over at the 35. Our game track. Josh Betts started 8 for 8. He's 1 of 7 since, as the pressure the guys were talking about was heated up by Toledo. We've got the 2 injuries to Gradkowski, the shoulder, and then hit the hand on the helmet there in the second quarter through the interception on the following play, and we'll keep an eye on him as the third quarter starts.
It's going to take a lot to keep him off the field in the second half.
So Josh Betts, and the offense gets started from the 35. And Luke Clemens runs it for 6 to the 41. Here are Lee's Home Depot coaching adjustments for half number 2.
First of all, Miami's got to get better offense balance. Remember, I drove the first 2 times they were running and passing. Keep pressuring the quarterback no matter who he is. And then, okay, Miami, throw the ball deep, pressure, pressure. Keep doing the same thing. That's not right. It should be the opposite thing. It should be Miami offensive balance, and it should be Toledo throw the ball deep and pressure.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
That's an adjustment to the adjustments.
That's right.
There you go.
That's strategy and tactics.
Improvise and adjust. 2nd and 5. Clemens, good, solid hit in the hole there by David Thomas. We had a chance to visit with David Thomas yesterday. He is from Kettering High School here in Detroit, and he's one of those stories that you just root for. The second oldest of 15 siblings, 8 brothers and 6 sisters. He talked about growing up on 6 Mile and Van Dyke, which is here in Detroit. His grandmother and couple of aunts really looked after him and took over his upbringing and his older brother. He was separated from his other siblings. They're now in touch. A whole bunch of them are here, and he's a wonderful turnaround story thanks to those ladies in his life. The carry here by Luke Clemens might end up about a half-yard shy of the first down, depending on the spot. Mike Alston out of Columbus made that play.
Now, if I was Miami, I'd definitely punt this ball. The reason why is I don't know if the other quarterback, Gradkowski, is going to play or not. I want field position back there. Remember I said Toledo go for it? Not here.
Punt.
Punt it. Okay.
Terry Hepner's going for it.
He's going for it. I don't like this call. No matter what happens, I don't like this call. Thank you very much. He's listening again.
Well, I thought he looked at the offensive coordinator, Shane Montgomery, and said, then we'll punt it.
In other words, he overruled him.
Well, no, I think they were talking. I think it was a conversation.
Oh, okay.
With a one-person voting opportunity. And the 17 taken by Moore. Hit immediately. Well covered by the nickelback, Ryan Ray. So Toledo will come out, and the million-dollar question, who's going to come out at quarterback? It will be Gradkowski, it appears.
You know the kid's going to give it a try and see how it feels. Yep. It's a matter of see if he's a quarterback that has so much velocity when he throws the football. If he loses that, he loses his effectiveness as a quarterback, as we saw with that interception.
Remember, he led Toledo to 5 straight touchdown drives in the last football game in the second half that he played.
From the 13, excuse me, the 18, this drive starts, and Gradkowski rolls and throws. That looked pretty good, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Chris Holmes takes it out just shy of the 40. Pick up the 22 and first down. How's your hand?
Well, when you're completing them, the hand feels good, but it was good play action. Great call. Going back to some of the things that worked for them earlier in this football game, the play action, giving a good strong fake. This time Hopkins, the tight end, one of their tight ends, most athletic of the 3, made a nice catch. Hand looked okay, and he didn't look down and give it the shake, so he's feeling good.
From the 40, McDougal runs for 4 to the 44. A nice open field tackle by Matt Pusateri. Kirk, have you had that in a game where you hit your hand and it just bothered you during the rest of the game?
Adrenaline takes care of most of the pains, little dings like that. But when you have an injury where you're aware of it and they've taped it up, sometimes it's going to test to find out how mentally tough you are. Gradkowski, though, that's his strength. I mean, I'd be shocked to see him come out. If he comes out, it's going to be some serious pain for him.
They told us yesterday, one thing with Bruce, he needs to tone down his energy level. It gives you a little hint on what kind of guy he is. He wants to play through pain like that. 2nd and 6, just a yard there for McDougal. Will Roof out of Louisville, Kentucky made the tackle. Roof, Larry Burt, 2 seniors up there tackle, along with John Glavin, have done a very good job for this crew in the middle this year.
Speaking of playing with pain, how about that left-handed quarterback, David Green, last week?
Yeah.
Georgia quarterback against Georgia Tech, splits his thumb on his left hand throwing, comes back in the 4th quarter, wins a football game. He's a legend now in Georgia football. David Green.
3rd and 6. Good job getting away from the would-be sack by Ruth. A flag comes down as the pass is incomplete, intended for Holmes. And as they scramble, the hold called on Toledo. Miami will decline that. And Toledo's going to have to kick it away.
Holding on the offense, number 68. The penalty is declined. Result of play is 4th down.
Jill Arrington.
The word on the sideline over here is that a bone in Bruce's hand might be broken. They've added an extra padding, some more tape. The problem is the pressure when he throws the ball, and Kirk, you can relate to this, is really painful with a broken bone in your hand at that position.
Well, he's going to have to, we're going to see if he's going to be able to go, and if the pain, as we said, if the pain becomes too great, Marcus Council, the redshirt freshman, will have to try to bring the Rockets home.
A 40-yard kick by Brett Kern. Fair caught by Ryan Robinson. Good hang time with an explosive return man is always good. 14-7, Miami. Tonight's game is available on ESPN HD thanks to our friends at Best Buy and Phillips. And you'll see the Steelers and Jaguars, Ben Roethlisberger on Sunday Night Football, that an ESPN HD broadcast, as well as Memphis taking on Pittsburgh in college hoops, and Oklahoma State against Syracuse. Good game there on Tuesday night. It's the Jimmy V Classic in New York. Josh Betts, first down, loading up, lots of time, nobody open. There's somebody, Corey Kirkpatrick. Gain of 12, and it will be a first down. Again, the conference title's on the line here tonight in this championship game, and the winner represents the league right back in here in the Motor City Bowl against Randy Edsall's Connecticut Huskies. Congratulations to Randy on a great job. The GMAC Bowl will have Bowling Green taking on Memphis. Either Northern Illinois or the team that doesn't win tonight will take on a Big 12 team in the Independence Bowl. Silicon Valley will be Northern Illinois or the team that doesn't win here against an at-large team. And the Plains Capital Fort Worth Bowl will have Marshall taking on Cincinnati. By far a record bowl appearances for Mid-American Conference teams this year. Luke Clemens the carry. And our hats off to Rick Crisp, the commissioner of the MAC, for doing a great job getting 5 and perhaps 6 teams in. If Tulane and Hawaii lose this weekend, then there'll be a spot for Akron to get into a bowl.
I was going to say, save that graphic, because how many years have we heard the MAC deserves more teams getting to a bowl game, which I think we all happen to agree with. And finally, now you're seeing the depth of this conference. You look at your top 4, 5, 6 teams in this conference. They deserve to have a chance to go to a bowl game.
Betts, the quick screen. Brandon Murphy, it's like a long handoff, and it's a good Keon Jackson tackle. Jackson's done a nice job. Strength of this defense at the rover position.
Mike, I also think it's a feather in their cap for the Mid-American to play a championship game in a wonderful facility like this. There's nothing better in America. Ford Field championship game. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a big step up for them.
Very much.
I think the fact that this is a Super Bowl site.
Yes.
And the Final Four will be played here, and NCAA regionals, it made it also attractive, and it's geographically convenient for everybody in the league to come here to Detroit.
And it's indoors.
Yes, 3rd and 11. The throw is intercepted on the sideline. Betts put one up for grabs, and it's picked up by Antonio Malone. Good field position for the Rockets. A mistake by Betts, and that was their problem earlier in the season.
That is the first poor decision we've seen from Josh Betts tonight. He got impatient. This offense has been struggling, and finally he got impatient and he forced a play. There was no way he was going to be able to get this ball thrown to any of his receivers downfield. Toledo makes the interception.
Josh had 11 turnovers early in the season. He only had 5 in the last 6 games. That's number 6. He's been protecting the ball beautifully, Mike, since he started off in a bad year.
Very close to being out of bounds as well. Couldn't really tell on that first look. From the 44, opportunity for Gradkowski. The toss to Steve Odom. His receiver gains about 8 yards there on first down.
Boy, do I like that call, boy, by Rob Spence. You know what he did? He rolled them out, Kirk, because they were putting so much pressure on the inside. He rolled them out and threw the ball. I'd like that call by Spence. 1st and 10, roll out pass.
Get away from the pressure.
Exactly.
The other thing, and I can't remember which one with your Home Depot coaching change, if you said Toledo or Miami, but crowding the line, get down the field.
Yeah.
Let's get down the field a little bit.
It was Toledo.
Okay, let's get down the field with Toledo's offense.
You know why? Because you call that touchdown pass in the very first drive, right? That's exactly what I think they ought to do more of. Take a chance, loosen them up, and go for 6.
Yeah, because Miami's putting everybody up tight, whether it's a pass or it's a run. They have so much confidence in their 2 corners, Hunter and Hodge, that they feel they can take that risk.
Is that like the 3rd week in a row he's called the play? Remember he did a couple weeks ago at Virginia Tech? Did he have one Thanksgiving night too? I think so.
I think he did.
On a roll.
If he didn't, we just said he did. Which is good enough.
The mouse is quiet over there. 3rd and a yard. I said nothing. McDougal. They have not been able to run between the tackles. They get a nice push from the guys in the middle. Glavin, Roof, and Burke. That time Glavin made the play. 4th and 3.
Now, you know why I don't like that play? How many times we've been together? 6 years? Never run a short yardage play without a lead blocker. Well, the first time they had 4th down, they used 2 lead blockers. This time, no lead blocker.
Lee, you know, though, line play, who gets the lowest and who's going to be most aggressive down low. It wouldn't have mattered if they had a lead blocker.
The reason why you have a lead blocker, at least he gets in the way of the guy that penetrates.
All right, there was a wall there.
Well, get in the way of the wall.
4th and 3. Should be a throw. Will be a throw to McDougal. First down. At the 28-yard line.
Now this is a rub. Man coverage. You may not be able to see it here, but there you can see Beasing, the linebacker, couldn't get out with McDougal because the tight end got in the way. It was a well-designed play, and if you're defense, it's a pick, and if you're offense, it's well-designed rub route. by McDougal and his tight end. He cut right off of his back, and Beasing, the outside linebacker, in man coverage, could not get out to cover McDougal. He's seeing man coverage. Let's see if he goes to the check here.
From the 28, underneath to the tight end, Holmes. Chris Holmes took it to the 22. Pick of 6. Matt Pusateri on the stop. 7 minutes gone by. Beg your pardon, third quarter. No scoring since late in the first.
That's a matchup that he likes. Holmes is a big target, 6'6", 265 pounds. Even though Pusateri's a veteran, he's still, what is he, that's 5'11", 6 foot, 210 pounds. That's a mismatch in man coverage, and he took the tight end that time.
Good 6-yard gain on first down. Back to Gradkowski. 4 more. Caught it. Touchdown. The Malone interception got the ball back. Toledo, an extra point from tying the game.
Oh, nice little play there. I like the design.
Throwback.
They got Toledo Tom.
That's it.
Whistle around the neck. Let's go.
Just don't forget, this football team came from behind the last 2 times they were trailing at halftime to get here.
Yep, that's right. They worked their tails off to get to this championship game.
Man.
Jason Robbins to square the game. Halfway through the third, all tied at 14. Gradkowski with the hand that may have a broken bone in it. It certainly is hurt. 4 of 4, 45 yards. Little razzle-dazzle. Nice little shove off of the DB. Lance Moore, his 12th touchdown catch of the year. 23rd of his career from his roommate, Bruce Gradkowski. All right, Toledo Tom. The Mid-American Conference Championship game last year, guys. We were down I-75, Bowling Green, Ohio. What a show for Ben Roethlisberger. 26 completions, 440 yards, 4 touchdowns. A MAC championship record, 440. Robinson, Larkin, everybody caught him. 49-27. Miami finished the regular season 10-1. They completed an undefeated season in the conference, trying to win back-to-back titles here tonight. We have a new game halfway through the third after the Lance Moore touchdown catch.
The reason why we have a new game, Betts' first really bad pass, interception. Miami, Toledo, 4th down pass to McDougal for first down. That's why the game is tied. 2 big key plays in the third quarter.
That 8th kickoff out of bounds of the season by Spinski may have been his last. Jason Robbins now kicks off. Corey Kirkpatrick on the return. On the ground, well covered by Jeremy Wright, the sophomore. Let's go back to that touchdown.
Well, Mike, you saw, I think we all saw it upstairs, and I'm sure Miami of Ohio fans at home saw the same thing. A little bit of a push-off here right at the end by Moore, right there. And, that's a tough call for an official to make because Moore is such a veteran, and he timed his leap with the hand at the same time. Very tough look by an official to be able to pick that up. And that you just kind of say, hey, Lance Moore is a 4-year guy. He's been around for a long time. He knows all the tricks and how to get open. And that time he timed it perfectly.
And as mentioned, he and Gradkowski are roommates. All square at 14. Miami of Ohio's offense not going anywhere since that first quarter. And just a couple of yards with Luke Clemens on the ground. And finally a little angst here between the sides. Kaziak out of Ontario made the play.
I think it's interesting to watch Toledo's team. And Lee, you touched on how they have an ability to come back, and they've shown that this year. They've shown that really over the last 2 or 3 years. And this is a team that just, it's almost like you could just feel the energy from the bench and from the field, not only from that touchdown, but from I think the tendency to show the ability to come back to win games creates confidence that when you get into that situation again, you believe, it's not just talk, you believe that you're going to do it again and find another way to win another tough game.
Clemens lost his helmet. Brandon Murphy replaces him. He's one of the 5 pass receiving options. And Betts throws it complete to Michael Larkin. Ran right across that yellow line, but maintained the first down at the 25. A pickup of 9. For the senior Larkin.
When we talked to Tom Amstad, the coach from Toledo, he told us they had done it 14 times In the last 4 years, they've come from behind in the second half to win the football games. And that means a lot that coach right there, Toledo Tom, knows exactly how to handle those half times.
The other thing is we're talking a lot about Toledo and how they're comfortable in this position. All of a sudden, Miami, Ohio, all of a sudden they need a spark. We always talk about championship caliber teams answer. They come back and make a big play. Larkin makes that play. He gets into the huddle, starts talking to his guys, trying to fire them up.
That's high throw is intercepted on the deflection. Keon Jackson, touchdown, Toledo. Jackson's third interception of the season. He came in as a cornerback, and the second pick in 4 minutes turns into another touchdown.
And remember, 5 turnovers in the last 6 games, Mike, before this. That's amazing.
Miami of Ohio blocked an extra point in the regular season meeting between these teams. Turnanunde got up high on that one, but it was good. And the Rockets back on top. Keon Jackson puts Toledo on top. Toledo's turned this one around quickly. They led 7-0. Miami scored 14 unanswered, and now 14 for the Rockets here in the third to take a 21-14 lead. Jason Robbins kicks it again. With a steady diet of Corey Kirkpatrick on kick returns tonight. Spilled at the 15. That's the second time Jason Flowers out of Centerville, Ohio, has made a special teams tackle.
There's a former Elk getting that done out there. Now, when Betts throws this ball, a couple things. He's throwing to a receiver that's 5'8" in Murphy, a running back sliding out of the backfield. The other thing is how hard he threw that ball, the velocity on that ball, no touch.
Yeah, but watch him throw off his front foot. By throwing it off his front foot, the ball has a tendency to take off on him. Watch the front foot again. See, his back foot is not there. Fundamentally, you should be throwing off your back foot and leaning towards the front foot, but you keep the back foot planted. That's why the ball took off.
Yeah, the quarterback coaches always harp on accuracy, accuracy, accuracy. It's the tips. It can always be a big turnover like that for a defense.
Luke Clemens on the carry. He gains about 3 yards here. Just all the small stuff that happens within a game. Clemens' helmet came off from that tackle. He came off, so the Murphy, the backup back, was in, and he's the one who couldn't get up high enough to pull it down. And he's 5'8" as opposed to the other 6-footers out there. Clemens is 6 foot, so all the little small things all contribute to that turnover, and now you're down 7.
How about Keon Jackson? All the coaches we talked to said his ball skills. He came to Toledo as a corner, and you could see the hands off of that tip to make an easy catch and then the easy touchdown.
This is 2nd and 8. Time for Betts here. Incomplete for his tight end, Dan Tyler. They're taking the receivers out of the game here as well, guys. Well, let's remind you that ABC Sports College Football tripleheader Saturday. Every game is huge. Virginia Tech, Miami. Winner we'll see in the BCS. USC, UCLA. USC looking to take its step and cement #1. And the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship game. #2, Oklahoma, taking on Colorado. ABC Sports. There's 3 huge games for you on Saturday.
Sounds like a couch day to me.
Full out couch day.
Yep.
South Florida, Pittsburgh, 11 a.m. Game day, 10:30 a.m. Southern Miss Cal, prime time on ESPN. Here is Betts, another long, strong throw. This one complete. Michael Larkin takes it to the 36, a gain of 18. He does have a hose.
And remember at our meeting, Kirk, he talked to you and I. His favorite pass is the long sideline throw, just like that. That was a perfect pass, wasn't it?
Well, there's never any question about Josh Betts and his arm strength. Look at the velocity on that outcut. And that's from one hash all the way to the far boundary. And this is a nice job. I like that Larkin didn't give up on this. He's not going to go out of bounds. He's going to try to get upfield and pick up as many yards as he can. He's a fighter.
Michael Larkin's numbers on the night. Play action from the 36, 2 receivers deep. It's down the middle for Ryan Robinson, who caught it with a flag as well at the 30. If it stands, it's a gain of 34. So Robinson, the terrific punt returner who's been much more of an offensive presence, able to get in between the corner and the safety. And you would assume it was illegal contact downfield on Toledo.
Pass interference on the defense, number 30. The penalty is declined. The result of play, first down.
This is another strong arm toss.
Well, you give Josh Betts time to throw. Here, this gives you an idea how much confidence he has in his arm strength. He's hit 4 of his last 13 passes after starting 8 of 8. Look at this. He's not going to even hesitate. He feels that he's got the ability to make that throw before Morris can come over and get in the way. There are very few quarterbacks that can put the ball on a line 30 or 40 yards downfield as low as that ball is thrown.
Luke Clemens, handoff out of the gun, takes it to the 27-yard line.
I was going to say, you notice the line is doing a lot better job of protecting them that time. That time they only rushed 4 guys. I forget about rushing 4. If you're going to get to Josh Betts, you've got to come with 6 or 7 and take a chance on him throwing a touchdown pass, Kirk, because when he gets hot, you're right.
Yep.
Whew, he is really hot.
If you give him time to set his feet, he's got enough talent out at wide receiver and enough ability to make some plays. They've dug it themselves out of a hole. They need to finish this drive.
Williams, the receiver, in motion. Fake to Clemens, who comes open. It is Williams, the motion man, in front of Patrick Bonney. It's a receiver on a safety to the 9, first and goal.
As bad as this offense has looked for the last 2 quarters, let's give Shane Montgomery, the offensive coordinator, a lot of credit for sticking with his guy as far as the play calling, going right back to and believing in his quarterback and in this offense to come back and say, hey, let's protect. And we believe that Josh Betts is going to make the throws to get us in position to score.
And 2 of the 3 good passes have been on play action so that they get to the outside away from that inside pressure that they had in the second quarter.
Toledo will take its first second-half timeout here with 3:37 to go. Well, this Mid-American Conference, you're seeing 2 of them tonight, Bruce Kwiatkowski and Josh Betts, some excellent quarterbacks this year. Over the years, Chad Pennington and Marshall, the Heisman Trophy finalist, who still holds Marshall career passing record numbers, even with Byron Leftwich following. And remember, for 2 years, Leftwich and Pennington were on the same team. And then he had a great career. And then Ben Roethlisberger, who became the number 11 pick by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And his MAC career was extraordinary at Miami of Ohio. Left after his junior season last year. And now a couple of quarterbacks in this game tonight and a couple of other quarterbacks in this league who were brilliant during the year. You think of Omar Jacobs of Bowling Green, who leads the nation in touchdown passes with 36, and Charlie Fry, the quarterback from Akron, who had an outstanding year as well, one of the top offensive performers in this league.
Didn't Mel Kiper say that he would be in the first round, Mike?
Talking about Charlie Fry,
yes. Charlie Fry,
the next great MAC quarterback as far as getting a chance to go to the next level.
He played at Akron for J.D. Brookhart, who was the coach of the year in the Mid-American Conference. J.D. was on the staff with Walt Harris at Pittsburgh and ran that offense very effectively. First and goal for Betts from the 9. Punt, throw. What a catch! Ryan Biesing, touchdown! That was a hot shot hauled in by the sophomore, whose brother is one of the star linebackers on this team. And Ryan makes it a 1-point game. Beautiful. Grab by Ryan Biesing.
Great hands and also a precise route to put himself in the back of the end zone. And that's speaking about relationships. We keep talking about Grukowski and Moore and how they always seem to be in sync. It's not only Larkin, but Biesing also right in line there with Josh Betts.
Extra point is blocked in the middle by Anthony Jordan and Tyree Pollard. 40 and 61 in there. And we told you Toledo blocked an extra point, or had an extra point blocked in the regular season meeting. Here, Terry Hepner cannot believe that the kick was blocked. It was Jared Parsegian with the kick. Remember, they alternate kickers. This was Jordan busting up the middle.
Well, they got some penetration, and Jordan got in there. That is a huge point at this point in the game, the way these offenses have struggled.
The touchdown catch for Ryan Biesing was his second in his Miami career. He did not have one this year. Mentioned his brother John plays here. You're talking about Shane Montgomery so much, guys, the offensive coordinator. He recruited these identical twins, John and Ryan. Here's Ryan's touchdown catch.
Well, the ball's thrown. It's a linebacker trying to stay with the receiver. That's one of the beautiful things about a spread offense is if teams don't put their nickel or dime package, they have to float a linebacker out to the inside slot receiver. That's a mismatch for a quarterback and a wide receiver to go up against a linebacker.
And the old ball coach, now head coach at South Carolina, brought that into college football about 10 years ago, where those mismatches and sending those guys against one-on-one. That's the old Spurrier theory.
Coming back
to South Carolina.
Soderquist with the kickoff, returned by Terrence Hudson. He takes it out to the 28-yard line. I'll tell you about the guy Biesing who caught the touchdown. I mentioned they were identical twins that were recruited by Shane Montgomery. John, the linebacker who's out there on the field now, was offered scholarship first. Ryan was a quarterback. Hometown Alpharetta, Georgia. Do you know who we backed up in high school? No?
No. Is that the Aflac question of the week?
That's the Mike question.
Okay.
Charlie Whitehurst.
No kid at Clemson.
Yes. Ryan was the backup.
Pretty good high school team.
A darn good high school team.
Almost as good as Reggie Ball and Craig Lumpkin in the same backfield out of that state.
Very good. First down, Gradkowski fakes it, shovels it forward. But the tackle made on Steve Odom as Miami's defense did not fall for the misdirection. 8th time the Mid-American Conference is playing a championship game. This league that over the years has produced some of the great names in the sport. We talk about Miami, the cradle of coaches, Woody Hayes, Bo Schembechler, Ara Parsegian, just some great players over the years as well. If you've spent any time in the Midwest, you've come to appreciate and respect Mid-American Conference football. And the title in 2004 being decided by a couple of good teams. A blocked extra point, the difference right now. 2nd and 5. Scooter McDougal bounces to the outside. And the man who earned the nickname Scooter for the way he crawled around the bedroom when he was a little kid. His dad gave him the nickname Scooter. Picks up the first down, a gain of 15.
Right guard, David Perkins. Right tackle, John Greco. Both freshmen really came off the ball that time, Kirk. And what I liked about them, they exploded off the ball and they kept their feet going on. Two nice-looking freshmen, 290 and 315 on the right side of Toledo's line.
First and 10 just shy of midfield out of the snap of David Odenthal. McDougal gets a block from Odenthal and takes it to the 39-yard line. A first down and a gain of a dozen yards. The center, Odenthal, is 4,000 miles away from his home. He was born in Germany, played soccer growing up. Watch him here on the block.
Good blocking, but also this is just Scooter McDougal showing his power. And this guy's he's running through tackles. And the last 2 carries by McDougal, I think, showed you why the coaches are so excited about what he can bring to this spread offense. 6'1",
220, East Cleveland. Good football in that town.
First and 10 from the 39. McDougal again, a gain of 4 out to the 35. So this guy Odenthal is over in Germany, right? He's playing American club football for a guy named Kirk Heidelberg, who used to be an assistant coach at Toledo. So Odenthal thinks he's got a chance at the league, or at college, getting a scholarship rather. So he sends out 50 tapes of his play in the club team to all schools. The only thing he gets back is an email from Michigan that gives him a walk-on application to fill out. Comes to the U.S. with a bag full of 20 tapes of his play. First place he goes is Toledo, because the old Toledo assistant is coach in Germany. Gary Pinkel sees him, scholarship offered. Here he is in America, playing center for Toledo. And a good center at that.
What a great story, and to think that he's the leader up front. Kaiser kind of gets most of the recognition as the left tackle and the guy that maybe has a future making it in the NFL, but they say he's incredibly intelligent, and he makes all the calls for that offensive line.
His mom was born in Germany. His dad emigrated from Iran at age 17. His mom has since passed away. Kaiser is a 4-time all-conference performer from Ontario, Canada. He grew up in Wayne Gretzky's hometown of Brantford.
Right.
They also have a young man as a reserve lineman of Iraqi descent on the offensive front.
United Nations.
Where else but football can you have a Canadian, an Iranian, a German, an Iraqi all playing together in the same team? Yeah. And leading the way to the 29-yard line. As the big man came in, Adebijan again for the second time to lead in the backfield. On that 4th down play, they brought 70 in before.
You're getting a big body here, close to 300 pounds. They try to hide him right here, close to the line.
Hide him?
Best you can. 300 pounds leading the way. They're bringing their backside guard, a little power play. And you combine that with McDougal's tough running, and you're going to pick up a few yards for a first down.
That's what I call real lead blockers.
1st and 10, Toledo on top by 1. Gronkowski play action for his roommate for more. One more time. Touchdown.
Deja vu all over again. That was exactly the play that Kirk called for a touchdown in the first half. Remember I said Home Depot plays? You throw deep. That was it, Kirk.
Well, because of the success on that drive of running the football, McDougal set that touchdown. The first person Lance Moore should go over and thank is the offensive line as a group, but also Scooter McDougal, the running back, because the running game brought those safeties up and put them out of position. Play action, over the top, touchdown Toledo.
Now the extra points are very important because we're on an odd number at 7. Robbins bangs his through, and the lead is 8, putting Miami in the position to likely go for 2 if they can score again. Gronkowski, guys, is his last 6 passes, 78 yards and 2 touchdowns. Guess his hand's okay.
Yeah, I forgot about the hand, the way he's playing here in the second half. Again, watch the safeties. Watch your safeties and watch how they start to cheat up. Both these guys are going to be aware, along with the linebackers, aware of the running game. Next thing you know, you've got a talented receiver isolated against, by the way, a gifted corner.
Yeah.
And he went right by him. Look at that blocking. The linebackers, the safety, Pusatari's lost. Moore catches a touchdown against Darrell Hunter, who they tell us runs about a 4.3 40.
You got to give Rob Spence a lot of credit, because what he did is he hasn't called that play again since the first quarter. Now he goes back, goes back, goes back. They lull him to sleep, and then whoop, same play the first quarter, touchdown. Good play by Rob Spence, who coached Luke McCown at Louisiana Tech.
That's right, and Tom Amstutz, the head coach, he said when he saw offenses, when he was a defensive coordinator for Gary Pinkel, the one offense that kept him up at night was the spread.
Right.
So when he got the head coaching job after Pinkel went to Missouri, Amstutz, the Toledo head coach, said, I'm going to get me a guy who runs the spread. And Louisiana Tech played Toledo a couple of years ago. They were familiar with it, and that's why they spent a lot of money for a Mid-American Conference school to get Rob Spence. And he's done quite a job. Corey Kirkpatrick, nice return here out to the 27-yard line. Toledo by 8, final seconds of quarter 3. And a chance to remind you that it's Saturday, our final regular season Saturday. A couple of games that are being made up because of the hurricanes earlier than this year. Pittsburgh in South Florida, California, Southern Miss. BCS implications for everyone involved as the road teams go for a big one. Saturday on ESPN, that late game available on ESPN HD as well.
I heard Jim Donnan, one of our colleagues at ESPN, talking on a radio show, and he brought up a good point. You know that the hurricane has really messed this BCS up, but it's also helped. Southern Mississippi was a lot better football team at the beginning than they are now. It really helps Cal. And then the situation with, who's that other game right
South Florida, Pittsburgh.
South Florida was a much better football. They've lost 3 or 4 in a row. Yeah. Pittsburgh was lousy at the beginning. So the hurricane has really helped Pittsburgh and Cal. I thought that was a great comment by Jim Donnan.
Yeah, Jim and Trevor Madge and Dave Revson do that show on ESPN News, the Coach's Corner,
Yeah, I like
Coach's
that.
Spotlight on Tuesdays. It's been very good through the year. About 4 hours of whipping around, talking to everybody in college football, what's going on.
But I never thought about the hurricane and how it affected different teams. Both of the advantages go to the teams trying to get into BCS.
That's right. What are we going to do on Sunday when there's no more talking about BCS? Betts' first down toss is incomplete, slightly high for his tight end, Dan Tyler. You know,
Sunday we have the selection show. So
I know that.
I know.
That promo's coming again later on.
Okay.
Plenty of time to break.
And we got a special on Monday, too.
Yeah, Monday we're breaking.
Yeah, we're there.
Just in case you didn't.
Once it missed it on Sunday, they get to do it on Monday.
Comes a what? A trademark. A trademark backside, okay?
So that'll be the breakdown of the breakdown you guys will have.
Yeah,
the
the
next
breakdown.
day's second look.
That will be a cast of 2,000.
2,000.
Not 1,000.
Second and 10 to the 27. Clemens with the carry, climbs through the hole to the 35 as we get to the end of the third quarter. There it is. Every team in the world. You know, I saw a game go to overtime. I saw guys put up 5 fingers. I love that.
It's 6. It's 7.
Off we go to the 5th.
That's
Toledo on top by 8. And off we go to the fourth quarter. This is our final college football Thursday night get-together in 2004. Great to end it here in downtown Detroit at the Marathon Mac Championship. Presented by Cooper Tires. 28-20 Toledo with the lead. It starts with a 3rd and short. And Luke Clemens is stopped by the Rocket defense. So Miami's going to have to kick it away here, the first snap of the fourth quarter. Well, of course, the Miami season last year highlighted by this man, Ben Roethlisberger, who's now 9-0, a record for a rookie starter in the NFL. The Steelers are on a record win streak as well. The Bradshaw, the Franco Harris, the Lynn Swann, the Mean Joe Green Days. They've won 10 in a row, the one before Ben stepped in, and they've never, ever done that.
What a big freak. You know,
Ben?
just unbelievable.
Like Wafsig with the punt. The return man in Moore scored the last touchdown. He has room to run. Oh, what a collision there at the 37-yard line. My goodness. Siborowski, the fullback, went in there like a missile. Well, Ben Roethlisberger was on David Letterman the other night and tried to do what Tom Brady couldn't do. Football in the cab. Okay.
At the varying speeds, and all you got to do is gun one into the window. You hit one cab in the window, you've won the Late Show Quarterback Challenge. Better luck against the Redskins.
Ben did have better luck against the Redskins, beating Washington to keep Pittsburgh with its great season. Gradkowski from Pittsburgh runs it across the 45 and to the 47-yard line. A 9-yard pickup there, and he said he's all excited as a Pittsburgh guy, Gradkowski, to see what Ben has done for his hometown team, the Steelers.
I just want to remind people that Ben Roethlisberger was such a great athlete in high school. He played receiver up until his senior year. So let's add that up. Senior year in high school, freshman year in college, sophomore year in college, junior year in college, and then he's playing in the NFL. He's really he's raw. He's just going to keep getting better and better. 5 years he's played a quarterback position, and he's that good. 2nd and 1 here for the Seton LaSalle High School graduate out of Pittsburgh. And a first down picked up by Scooter McDougal. Before we leave, Ben Roethlisberger, as good a football player he is, he and his family might be even better people. Great people. Remember, we were impressed last year, Kirk, when we met those people? Oh, what a great young man he is. Fine Northwestern Ohio family. Hard as a...
Findlay, Ohio.
That's right.
Not too
home
far
of Cooper
from
Tire.
That's right.
The home of Cooper Tire. Good job on Thursday nights for us.
I'm sure Ben is watching down in Pittsburgh tonight. He stays in very close touch with his team. Talks to guys like Larkin on a regular basis, his old roommates, his old receiving mates. Nice run by McDougal. First down across the 40 to the 39. We said maybe another first-round MAC quarterback pick this year. He's standing by with Jill.
That's right. I'm with the Heisman nominee, Charlie Fry, watching the action closely. Now, you hold over 50 records at Akron as their quarterback. What are your fondest memories as you look back at that college career?
Well, I just look back at my senior year, and, we started off 0-3, and, we came back and had a great win against Marshall at home, which was on ESPN and nationally televised. And, just the way our team stuck together this year and really finished strong is a great memory.
You're following in the line of some great MAC quarterbacks who've made it at the next level. You're projected as a first-rounder. What are your expectations for yourself there?
Well, I was invited to the Senior Bowl on January 29th, so I'm going to go play in that and see what happens there. But, I'm just going to go up there and try to do the things that I did at Akron and just go out and give them my best shot.
Well, I know you're a gamer. You wish you were out there. I see you looking at the field. Congratulations on a great season. Thanks for talking to us. Mike?
Thank you, Jill. Charlie's a nice young man. We wish him the best. He's going to be terrific. Do a good job down at that Senior Bowl. Meantime, McDougal continues to power run the ball. He had another 10 yards there. And what Fry did in the air against the Miami Redhawks, McDougal's doing on the ground. Over 100 yards now. And another first down.
And the big boys up front are starting to take over the football game these last few series for Toledo. McDougal, I think, is getting more confident, finding his rhythm as a runner. But it sure helps when you have an offensive line that's giving you some great running lanes to get to that second level of a defense.
And this is exactly the same spot they were in the first quarter where you call that touchdown pass. They ran and ran. Now it wouldn't be a bad idea. Another one, maybe.
Is it a pre-call of a play-action pass?
No.
Okay, it's not.
That's Kirk's job. This is just a theory situation.
I see. First and 10, Toledo leading by 8 from the Miami 28.
There it is.
Play-action pass. Flags are down. The backside post was covered. Gradkowski out of bounds. Will there be a flag here? No. Just a loss of a yard.
That was good acting by Gradkowski, hitting the deck there. Sometimes gets the flag.
Gave some audio with it, too. You could hear him.
When Darrell Hunter, along with Alfonso Hodge, the two corners from Miami, came off the field after giving up that last touchdown pass to Moore, Joe Palcic, the secondary coach and one of the defensive coordinators, really got after the secondary. And that time they were in position and took away the inside route. But these guys have been hurting him all night with that post route.
That was once again not enough people on the offensive line. College football's call of the year. It's emphasized more this year.
It's the guy that's got a shoulder and a hand. Little nudge there by Wewell.
Championship game, you got to do more than that to get a flag.
I don't think it was. I mean, he hit him a little bit late, but he didn't hit him hard enough for him to. As I said, that was a little acting there by the junior.
McDougal joined in the backfield by Holmes, the tight end, who usually come out of here in motion. He'll hang back there for this one. Now release as Gradkowski throws to Moore for the third time. More. Touchdown, Toledo. Look at Gradkowski's mom. She's all fired up. Everybody hug. Anybody else left? Come on. Hug. Come on.
All right.
Another one?
Yep.
Good for her. A 29-yard touchdown. 4 TD tosses for Gradkowski. Third to Moore. And Toledo leads by 15. He has a black belt in karate. His friends call him Measy. Lance Moore, 3 touchdowns. Debbie Gradkowski, a happy mom tonight.
We have
Toledo 28 second half points. They were down 14-7 at the break. We weren't sure if their quarterback Bruce Gradkowski was going to be able to play with that hand injury. But once again, they've had a second half surge, Lee.
And counting the last 2 ball games in this game, they've had a total of 77 points in the second half.
Wow.
Woo.
Everybody remembers how they got here in that Bowling Green game when many people probably turned off the television thinking that Bowling Green was heading to the MAC championship.
That was fair caught, sorry, bud, by Matt Vogel, the tight end.
As we've talked about how it's been a long night for the Miami Redhawks secondary. This time, top of the screen, Weewo, who's a corner, who's filling in for some of the injuries, gets turned by the move by Moore. Once he gets turned, when the quarterback steps up, he's completely out of position, and that's great recognition by Gronkowski to find his guy downfield.
But watch this. Gronkowski avoids the rush, but I like this. Watch him set up and come forward by squaring his shoulders and throwing the ball overhand. That was a fundamentally beautiful pass by Gronkowski.
1st and 10 for Josh Betts in the Miami of Ohio offense. They need to score desperately. Trying to get somebody to come back to the ball. It is caught by Larkin, who took a big hit, but is going to pick up the first down. It's just great work. Yep. Larkin ran 35 yards down the field, 15 back to come make that play in front of Keon Jackson, who has a pick 6 here tonight.
Urgency is a key word right now for Miami of Ohio. If they plan to try to come back against Toledo, every snap, every possession, everything that they have in them in the final 11.5 minutes to go here matters, and they need to get in and out of the huddle and get back up to the line of scrimmage and ready to call plays.
They're down 15, so somewhere in this comeback they could very well need a 2-point conversion. Still plenty of time, still some time. And Clemens with the run there. 2 of the 31 yards. Clemens on the night approaching 70 yards, about 20 carries. Miami had a 14-7 lead. Toledo's put up 28 here in the first 19 minutes of the second half. Stuart Scott Van Pelt standing by for SportsCenter. There's much more on the Jason Giambi steroid story. The latest in the college football coaching carousel. What news is out there from today? And highlights of this one as Tom Amstutz tries to bring Toledo a Mid-American Conference title. Right at the first down mark with Larkin one more time.
Larkin's been the guy, whether it's been zone or man. He seemed to always be able to find that timing with Josh Betts to pick up some first downs to keep Miami's hopes alive here.
Larkin 8 catches, 74 yards here on the evening. Thanks to our stat man, Marty Aronoff.
Marty's had a heck of a year, hasn't he?
Well, everybody in the booth. Mike Black, Josh Johnson, Melinda Mazo, Steve Orloff, who sets up the booth. Our booth crew, the best. 1st and 10 from the 39. A pump and go for Robinson, incomplete.
Did you mention Melinda?
I did mention Melinda Mason. Thank you.
Just checking.
Thank you. Nigel Morris, the corner, in coverage there out of Nyack, New York. That kid had 31 interceptions in high school. 13 his senior year. I guess they didn't have game film. Stop throwing his way. 31 picks.
Let's keep going after that Morris kid. It's only been 8 this year.
Yeah.
He can't do it again.
2 picks this year and a fumble return for touchdown against Ohio as well. 2nd and 10. Clemens picked up the blitz, and the tight end, Tyler, hauled it in. We'll have 3rd and 5 coming up. 10-10 to go.
That's why Clemens is in there as much as he is. He's a veteran, but when it comes to pass protection, when Betts is back there throwing, of all the backs, Clemens is the guy that not only is physically able to do it, but mentally he sees the blitz, and he knows each time who he needs to pick up.
And this offensive line, Miami, is playing better and better now. Dave Rakert, the center, is the only senior on the up front team, including that Josh Betts' quarterback. They got a good football team coming back next year.
Out of Avon Lake, Ohio, he snaps it, but whistles before the snap, and this will stop the play. Lee, you mentioned the offensive front. See Todd Londot, 62 there. They moved Londot from center over to right tackle, a very athletic player, and that helped solidify this team with their moves.
Again, false start on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Everybody who's employed by ESPN will join you Sunday at 6 Eastern. I'm not going to leave anybody out. I don't need any emails from people. The bowl selection special presented by Outback Steakhouse. Once all the bowls are set, you watch that BCS selection show over on ABC. Come over. Our guys been with you all year. They'll kill it. We'll break it down scientifically for you. Bowl selection special presented by Outback Steakhouse. Every employee at the network will be on the air. 3rd and 11. They need to get to the 49 to keep the drive alive. Another flag is down as Betts throws another interception to Jackson. There's double coverage over there right at the sideline. There was nobody open. The question is, was it an offside or a procedure flag?
It looked like a free play because of Stephen Morrison, number 47. Looked like he just mistimed his blitz and maybe got across the line of scrimmage. Looked like I think Josh Betts realized he had a free play and took a chance.
Morrison out of Christ the King High School in Queens, New York.
Offside.
Yep,
On the defense, number 47. The foul is penalized 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat 3rd down.
That's their lightning package they go to when Morrison and Mike Alston come in as linebackers who rush.
Morrison disguising a little bit. Can't really tell from that angle, but he was across. I like the looks of Morrison. Look, all these linebackers, he was across. All these linebackers, they can really run, a lot of speed. With the what we'll call kind of 4 linebackers, even though one of them's a whip and the other one's a rover.
So 3rd down, Betts is incomplete. In and out of the hands of Larkin. Antonio Malone was right there, along with Michael Broussard, who was that whip position.
The one thing that Betts is going to have to learn in his senior year is there are certain times you have to take the 95-mile-an-hour fastball and bring it down to about 78. He has such confidence in his strong arm that I think in the offseason, Terry Hepner, Shane Montgomery, they're going to work with him to develop more of a touch with certain routes. You got to give your receivers a chance on certain throws.
Before 4th down, Miami's going to talk about if they want to go for it. They need 7 to keep the drive alive.
Punt it, coach. Punt it.
Fourth down, and they will go for it. Miami trailing by 15.
I don't like this call.
You don't?
No. Because
you're basically saying if you don't make it here, the game's over.
Thank you. Because what you're doing, give them field position. I'd kick the ball with 9 minutes to go. Play defense, get it back, go back, try to win at the end. I would not go for it with 4th and 8 and on my 42-yard line. Make it or not, I don't like the call.
3 receivers near side. Kirk circles Larkin, who's double covering. But Ryan Robinson dropped the ball. Everything there was perfect, and Robinson was taking it all the way in, but he just turned his head, dropped the ball. Toledo takes over.
I circled Mike Larkin, and I think Toledo was circling Michael Larkin too. They had 2 guys and a 3rd guy that got in there to try to stop Larkin. The inside of the middle receiver comes to the outside. He attracts 3 defenders. Look at him, 1, 2, 3, and opens it up for Robinson. And you know what he did? He peeked up to take a look at Patrick Body because he got a little bit concerned about if he was going to get hit. He wanted to see where he's coming from instead of just catching the football.
Exciting punt returner who said take over more of a receiving role as the carry by McDougal takes it to the 38. When Martin Nance got hurt, injured his ACL in his knee, Robinson, the great punt returner, had to become more of an offensive guy, and he's just someone who's going to get better as time goes on.
I know the play was there. I know he dropped it, but I told you before, and I'm saying again, I didn't like the call, and I'll tell you why. Because they're going to take the football now, and they're going to take that clock, and they're going to move it down to about 4 minutes. If they don't score, they might kick a field goal, but now you've lost the football game, Miami, because you went for it then when you should have punted the football. I know he was open, but he dropped it.
McDougal has carried 27 times now here on the night. Did a nice job there to move forward and get about 3 to add to his total, now at 121.
I know Grudkowski, we're going to look back at this game and remember how tough he was playing through some pain. And guys, already tonight he's thrown 4 touchdown passes. The thing I'm going to remember about this game is when Toledo took this game over, their offensive line and their running back, McDougal, took the game over. The last 2 possessions, he's carried the ball 11 times, 63 yards to set up those touchdown passes by Gronkowski. And last 2 possessions have been touchdowns since that line and that running back have taken his football game over.
Got to make a play or 2 here. 3rd and 2 for Miami. McDougal, just little small stuff. That hit may have pushed him back by Pusateri. They're going to give him forward progress, and he'll have the first down out at the 32-yard line.
The game is over.
No, it's not over.
It's over, I'm telling you. It's over because the clock was the major enemy of Miami, and they allowed Toledo to run the clock. That's why you punt the ball. Excuse me.
Well, not only that, with the
that's it.
Well, yeah, short field, you go up. Even if you get I'm just saying, even if you get a field goal here, it's 3 possessions.
I wouldn't even kick a field goal. I just run the clock, so they don't block it.
But we got good stuff to talk about.
Oh yeah, but
the game's out of reach.
We got Sports Center coming up. We got Scotty.
Scotty and Scotty. Yeah. Stu Scott and Scott Van Pelt.
Bring it down here.
McDougal has run for 10 first downs here on the night. Only gains a couple of yards there.
Tick, 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 tick.
Turner Nunde made the tackle. The BCS standings brought to you by Allstate. See the top 6 there. Question if Texas does hop ahead of California. It would not take many people changing their votes in the coaches poll or the media poll. You can't forecast with great accuracy what the computers will do to shake it down. But there is the possibility. That's hard to separate. Texas lost to Oklahoma. Cal lost to USC. How do you vote those teams in your poll?
You want us to talk about that?
Yeah, well, you have all year, so why not this week?
We saw California. They were as good, if not better, than Southern California. They lost because of the kicking game.
Let me tell you what kills Cal.
Yep.
They play in the Pac-10 where nobody sees them play, even when they're on ABC television. Nobody has seen Cal play. When people watch ESPN this weekend, it'll be the first time they've seen Aaron Rodgers play all year, and the first time they've seen this. We've seen them all year, from the end of August until right now. We've watched Cal. We've watched every team all year. And I'm telling you right now, Mac Brown deserves to go to the BCS, but not by taking
Fumble. Gronkowski lucky to get it back at the 30-yard line. That was getting kicked around there, near disaster with 5.5 to go. Sorry about that.
But not by taking Cal out. Cal, Lee's right. We watched him play USC, and USC has dominated everybody in the second half. Cal's the only team that stood there in the Coliseum, took SC's best shot, and had a possession inside the 15-yard line to win the game.
And Texas have had 3 or 4 squeakers. Cal have had 1. And they lost by 6 points to the #1 football team in the nation. They had first and goal on the 9.
You know, it's a shame that we have to sit here and ridicule Texas.
No, no,
we're not. But just you have to say something bad about Texas to put Cal up. Both teams deserve to be there. But if you're asking, at least I think both of us, Cal, I think, should be there ahead of Texas.
That's right.
This is 4th down, and they ran it all the way down, and then took a timeout beforehand. We got one other point about the BCS, and we'll bring that up right after this.
Good. Stay tuned.
5.4 million people live in Metro Detroit, the oldest city west of the Seaboard Colony. Super Bowl will be here, Final 4. Major League Baseball All-Star Game this coming summer. 4th and 8, Toledo will go for it, not risking any kick. Gronkowski will roll and throw for Odom. Out of bounds. Incomplete. And Miami will take over at its own 30 with 4:53 to go and an opportunity. Gronkowski, nice job, though, here. He really wanted to hit that one to Odom. You can see him there.
The interesting thing about Gronkowski, I couldn't believe it. You know, he wasn't even in the top 3 all-MAC quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't even, he was 4th or 5th. Gosh, they must have a pretty good league in this.
Well, we talked about it. You saw Charlie Fry down there.
Right.
Omar Jacobs put up great numbers.
What a year.
That's still the same system that Urban Meyer at Bowling Green. Now Greg Brandon is running. You know, Urban Meyer.
Josh Harris leaving. You think that's going to take him a year or two to fill his shoes?
Well, Urban Meyer, he was coaching in the MAC 3 years ago. The guy who's been talked about as much as anyone here the last couple of days. Betts rolling, throwing. Oh, a man broke free. It's hauled in by Larkin. At the 13.
This game might not be over.
Oh, Now change your mind.
No, it's over. They'll run out of time. They'll get the onside kick.
You don't need an onside kick. Broken coverage. You're up by 15. You got him pinned back deep. The last thing you can do is get sucked in. For vertical, you bite the inside receiver and you leave him all alone to the outside. And look who it is making another play for Miami.
That's just a thing of beauty to watch. You see how fast he caught up to the ball.
A great effort.
That was 57 on the completion. Really, it was like a 62-yard throw in the air from behind the line of scrimmage as he just lofted that out there, and Larkin used the speed. Larkin over 100 yards. Chance here for Miami to get back in it. Betts fires. Touchdown! Josh Williams.
Woo! The emails can be sent to...
You go for one here.
Yes.
Because you make it an 8-point game and keep yourself mathematically alive in one possession.
Oh, man, this is a great throw.
This is one-on-one coverage. Toledo brought the blitz from the outside. This Keon Jackson, one-on-one, and a heck of a catch and a great throw. Nice Josh Williams down and away. Williams makes the catch.
Remember the alternating kickers. Parsegian had the extra point blocked. Soderquist now kicks this one. It's his turn. 8-point game.
Look out,
13 left.
Sunshine Scooter getting some emails.
I tell you what, it ain't over yet.
13 Thursdays. Why let it end? Let's go overtime. Come on.
We'll see.
Championship game. We'll be here all night. Toledo's defense gave up a quick one there in 2 plays. It's an 8-point game. Here's the Marathon MAC Championship presented by Cooper Tires. Toledo has brought its hands team out, and they've brought their kick return man up to the 30-yard line.
I'm kicking this one deep.
I'm grieving.
You have
I'm
2
grieving.
timeouts left. 4 minutes, over 4 minutes to go.
I agree with you.
Todd Soderquist is the kickoff man, and now, after showing everybody up close, Toledo reverts back to its normal kickoff return spot, but with the hands team still out there. Their best return guys were up at the top there. And it's a touchback, so there'll be a long field to go. Good job by Soderquist, the kickoff man.
Well, McDougal and the offensive line have played very well in the second half, and now chance to ice the game. Find out if the 9-man front that Miami's about to throw at McDougal will be enough to stop him.
Guys from Kettering High School here in Detroit, our Applebee's hometown hero tonight, David Thomas. He's played a very good game. Tom Amstutz came up here a lot recruiting him. He loves recruiting in this area. There's some good players, and this young man who is one of 15, second oldest of 15 siblings, has done a very good job all year. Our Applebee's hometown hero tonight. 1st and 10 from the 20. Here goes McDougal. You know he's getting it. They know he's getting it. And he's carrying Larry Burt for about 4 yards. Craig Meister there as well.
He's carrying a pile of red jerseys for another couple yards.
Looking at the book, this young man was number 2 in the state as a running back in the Ohio Prep Report. Academic problems, that's why I come to Toledo probably, but the fact is this guy was a highly rated football player in the state of Ohio.
Yep, Shaw High School.
Sure. Good.
See, they got it out of Cleveland. Miami's got their entire defense at the line. They still got 5 yards on that last carry. There it is.
They don't get anything there, and will they take the time out here or save it in case they need it on the next possession? No, they're going to let it run down and put a lot of their eggs into this 3rd down basket.
Well, now if you're Toledo and you're Rob Spence as an offensive coordinator, do you play the percentages?
Yes.
Do you keep the clock moving, force them to use that timeout, or do you get risky? And
I think you played it. I think the timeout is very important. You got to get, and remember, I learned from this from the pros. They use most of their timeouts in situations like this on defense.
Always.
Always, right, Mike?
You can control the clock on offense, especially in college. 3rd and 5, needing to get to the 30 to avoid giving it back to Miami. Quarterback throw, Gronkowski is caught at the 36-yard line.
That's just like a fan. Oh, no! Yeah, baby.
Exactly right.
Steve
No
Odom
way.
with the catch.
Oh, Rob Spence, good call.
They motioned Odom, and the defense, they were so caught up, I think they were thinking like all of us, that they're going to run the football. Odom, all he had to do was sit in there. Again, Wewo, a safety, not real familiar with his territory. He's a corner that's having to play safety because of the injuries.
Scooter McDougal picked up the linebacker blitzing as he gave Ratkowski enough time to throw that ball. A giant backfield, Mike.
Yep. The tight end, Holmes, comes to block. McDougal out to the 41. Miami's going to stop it here and take timeout with 2:05 remaining. And Toledo, one first down away from winning the Mid-American Conference Championship. Well, on SportsCenter, the fallout of the Giambi story, the latest Ricky Williams chapter, and maybe a sign of life for the NHL. That'll make the folks here in Hockeytown very happy.
How about the Blue Jackets in Columbus?
That'd be great.
Blue Jackets in Columbus.
Hey, can I ask you something?
This is Hockeytown. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Mike.
I still got my BCS point coming up.
You teased it, and I'm waiting. The ACC Big Ten Challenge on ESPN and ESPN2. Did the Big Ten did it get any wins? I know that Maryland, Scotty Van Pelt's.
What do you mean, Illinois beat Wake?
Oh, Illinois
beat Wake Forest.
Yeah.
Number one team in the nation.
The Big Ten, did they come up with 2 or 3?
Yeah, they got at least 2. I think they ended up with 2 total.
North Carolina beat Indiana.
Yeah, I think it ended up 2 total. 2?
Ohio State had an opportunity there against Clemson. We were over at Michael Tirico's last night. We enjoyed ourselves. We appreciate that opportunity to go over
We did a great job.
Tirico household.
Beef tenderloin. You know how much that costs for all those people?
How about that?
Do you realize how much that costs?
The hors d'oeuvres.
Oh,
I thought it was just the hors d'oeuvres when they bring the meat out.
Guys, I mean,
good hit on McDougal. Gain of 1.
Yeah,
Hefner's going to take his final time out here.
The whole team was there.
I'm telling you.
The whole.
You don't go to the grocery store, but you know how much beef tenderloin costs?
No, I run to the grocery store.
What the heck has happened here? Speaking of the whole team.
Yeah.
Final time out here. One of our great tape operators, Dave and his wife, Sean, Dave Gray, have a baby, Alana. We welcome Alana to the world, a new member of the Thursday Night Football family. Charlie Parsons is in the truck, one of the many talented people in the truck working his final game. We say goodbye to Charlie and thank you for a wonderful few years here as well. And our director, Mike Schwab's twins, are celebrating a birthday today. Anybody else?
Brian Carter, producer tonight, did a great job. Bo Garrett's sitting at home right now with his legs kicked up.
Relax.
We'll salute you.
You know, we're still on the air here.
Yeah, I know.
The BCS point I was going to make.
Please.
Real quick. You can complain all you want about the BCS. We know the system, I think all of us believe, is flawed in many ways. This is what it's designed for. How else would you break a 3-way tie of undefeated teams? You got to pick 2 to play because the BCS idea was to get the 2 teams to play on the field for the championship. So with 3 teams who are undefeated, this is why a BCS was created with the computers and combination of the polls to come up with some sane, logical way that was determined at the start of the season of how to break it up. You may have problems with it, and I understand it, but this is why you need a BCS if we don't have a full-out playoff.
Because those 3 teams would be at 3 different bowl games.
Exactly.
Because of conference affiliation.
Big play here. 3rd and 4, Miami must stop Toledo to have any hopes of repeating as champs. Why not McDougal, the big back, through into the secondary to the 30-yard line. What a night he's had.
Oh, man.
What I love,
hopefully he didn't get hurt there. Hopefully he's just tired.
Toledo with their formation, because they've run the same play every time they go to that big power formation, basically telling you we're going to run right here. Good luck stopping us.
Yep.
I think he got injured, unfortunately, at the end of this great run. He's had an unbelievable game, too.
Well, he took the game over.
He's 220 pounds. McDougal carried the ball 21 times in the second half.
35 times here, as you see tonight.
Wow.
And completely controlled the game and had the first down here. And just gets tangled up. And his feet get bent awkwardly as he comes down there at the 31.
We mentioned he's from East Cleveland in that area. The greatest football player I ever coached is from the same area, our colleague Tom Jackson. Talk about tough football players, boy. They produce them in that area.
I just hate to see this after the guy closed out an unbelievable game with a great run. He gets a terrific and well-deserved reception, but
just hope he's okay.
Yep. Are we giving out any pies or anything tonight?
No,
he gets everything.
The MVP, and we'll give that out momentarily. He gets it. What a great run.
The big boys are in there pushing people around. He's breaking tackles like he's done all night.
Well, Scooter McDougal, who came in a lot bigger, dropped a lot of weight. They're looking at his knee. He carried this team. Of course, they'll play a bowl game right here on this field in a few weeks.
Against Connecticut.
That's right.
Can I bring up one more point?
Yes, sir.
This football team, Toledo, and I've said it 3 times and I'll say it the 4th time. They beat Northern Illinois, Bowling Green, and tonight Miami by scoring 77 points in the second half. That's why this football team has been so sensational. Two of those teams, Northern Illinois and Bowling Green, were top 25 teams. This one, 77 second half points for Toledo to win those 3 games. Woo.
That is coaching. You're able to make adjustments like that. And as I said, once you brought that up the first time.
4th time I brought it up. This is the 4th time.
But I'm saying the first time you brought it up, as a team, you start to create, I think, a swagger and an expectation that when you hit that adversity and you're down at halftime, guys, we've been here before. Let's circle the wagons, make our adjustments, and go out and win the second half.
Gronkowski got his feet tied up with the center as he takes a knee there. Well, our Wrangler player of the game, no doubt, Scooter McDougal, even though Gronkowski threw 4 touchdowns, injured the knee there at the end of that final carry. McDougal out of East Cleveland, our Wrangler player of the game. Toledo's just running out the clock. They don't need to run another play.
When Toledo was able to take the football game over, Gronkowski was throwing touchdown passes, but what was happening in between was the offensive line and Scooter McDougal taking the game over, wearing down the Miami defense, forcing the Miami defense to lock in on McDougal, which opened up the play-action deep ball, and Gronkowski to Moore. We saw more than a few times for touchdowns.
One last snap, and for the second time, Toledo Tom will take a bath. Got to get to the coach to give him the Gatorade. They lost the coach. They were ready to give him the Gatorade bath. There, you got him.
I want to see him carry him off. Come on.
He's going after his case, running away from his guys. Tom Amstutz and Toledo win the Mid-American Conference Championship for the second time in 4 years. They won at home in 2001. In their 5th title game appearance, they win here in 2004, 35-27. SportsCenter is next. We'll be on post-game extra duty on ESPN News momentarily. For Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, Jill Arrington, and our great Thursday night crew, Cedar and the Bulls, Mike Tirico. Good night from downtown Detroit, where Toledo has won the Mid-American Conference Championship in 2004.